What's up, guys? How's everybody doing today? What up, Ace? How you doing, man? Doing well, man. Doing well. Ooh. No more LDs. No more LDs at the moment. Uh-oh. Am I in trouble here? You gotta do that. What up, Trendy? How you doing, man? Dark Dominic? No, not on my account. I don't know what you saw, but I do not have Maximilian. I'm doing good, man. Could this Laura actually be faster than 220 on Despair? So this team has 27 wins. Could this be faster than 220 on Despair? I find that hard to believe. It is. What the? What? What was that? You know what? Actually, so it's not. It was all Swift. That's what it was. This was all Swift. Wow. I didn't even consider the possibility of Swift. I don't think I can win this, right? She kills me here. Wow. Didn't even think about him just tuning all Swift. Nice defense. Ah, there goes my 25-0. I wonder if yeah, no, I think I fall for that one either way. I was gonna say I wonder if that's like just me being on stream, but I think I fall for that one either way. $32 win team here. All right, let's not be stupid 2 in a row. It should be fine like this. Yeah, that's fine. Any of the new monsters excite me? Not yet. The one that has like the like the passive where he's faster based on health status, and then he can do a single target skill reset thing. That one's interesting. Kind of like another Miles, basically. That one's kind of interesting. But yeah, I mean, the thing is, we need to see, like, we actually need to see, first of all, what their base stats are. And then the other thing is we probably need to see, like, what am I trying to say? Split concentration. We need to see what the other elements are, because there's still going to be a bunch more. Monsters coming in. So they release like the sneak preview, but I don't normally put a whole lot of stock into those. What up, Giovanni? How you doing, man? I want to see what the rest of the elements look like. It's a lot of monsters coming into the game at once, so. Not a huge fan of them bringing in so many monsters at once. I feel like that could wreak a little bit of havoc on the meta, but who knows? The Dawn sub-property tab. I'm actually not sure what you mean by Dawn sub-property tab. DAW-M. I'm still not following it. Maybe it's just the split concentration of stream. Sorry, Giovanni. Oh, damn. Damn, got it. Yeah, sub-property tab. Sub-property tab. All right, let me just put this on auto so I can concentrate. So, sub-property tab, are you talking about... Are you talking about the filter? Are you talking about this, where you can do like this and filter by recovery and decrease damage, that type of thing? Is that what you meant? That's an autocorrect. Oh, so you're talking about like this. You're talking about sort by subproperty, like this. Whereas you can sort by grade, default grade, power up level, and all of that. Oh, you know what? Because that's like an old feature, I don't know if I ever even, yeah, I mean, I guess I never even really thought about, I guess for, yeah, I guess if you've never seen it before, then it makes sense that you wouldn't know about it. It's kind of one of those things that one's been in since before I started playing. I never even thought about it. But yeah, I guess if you don't, I mean, there's so many menus in Summoner's War, it kind of makes sense, like, okay, did that Molly just go like 4 times to start the match? All right, I guess if a unit's actually gonna proc 4 times, Molly starting the match with 4 procs is probably the way to go. Yeah, I use it constantly, honestly. All right, Molly, that's enough procking now. That is definitely enough procking. I think I lost this, didn't I? Because if the Dom goes down, I'm in trouble. I don't even know what happened here. How did I get in trouble on this match? Like, it didn't look like anything that should actually have me in trouble. I mean, I guess I shouldn't have wasted the attack from the Dom on the Juno. I don't know, but this did not look like there was anything here that would put me in trouble. And then all of a sudden, I'm just like actually in trouble. That's kind of crazy. So Dom dies here. Oh, just barely. Okay. Now we're okay. I mean, granted, he did proc a lot. Obviously, he did proc a lot, but still. You know what? Let's just go into you. Or not. Well... Alright, I better Oblivion you. Or not. Oh, what is this, bro? What is this? Alright, let's just do this. Can we get some pushback? That's okay. I actually want the Juno to hit this Tessarian, so we're not going to cleanse the defense break. Alright, well, Juno's going to strip, isn't she? So I need to hold on to this. Let's just heal. Okay, let's heal again. Oblivion. Thank you. Alright. There we go. All right, so first of all, man, that's awesome that you did 2 glory towers in a month. Seriously got your priorities in the right spot. So, let me show you a spreadsheet real quick. It's funny that you asked that question right now because I actually happen to have a spreadsheet up that I was planning on working on during the stream a little bit, and that spreadsheet has some information in it. So we're gonna pull this up real quick. So in this spreadsheet right here, this is a list of the order that I recommend you do your towers. You don't need to screenshot this. This is a spreadsheet that's downloadable in Discord. It's in useful links and info. So this is the order I recommend doing your towers. That's the whole process I recommend for doing your towers. And like I said, that one is in Discord, so you can actually download that. I'm going to be working on that spreadsheet here in just a couple of minutes, so it's funny you asked that question now. Now, tips from early game to end game. So I do have a video that's a full progression guide. I would actually suggest checking out that video because I did a little bit of research. I don't know about research. Planning, that's the word I'm looking for. I did a lot of planning before I did that video, trying to actually figure out what made the most sense. It's an older video, so a couple of things might have changed a little bit just because it is an older video. I think I probably did it a year and a half ago, but I don't think a lot has changed overall. I think it's still pretty accurate, and it's going to give you like the best overall outline. Like if I tried to do everything off the top of my head right now, honestly, I would miss stuff. Like it's kind of hard. Because that's a really, really broad, complicated question, right? So it's kind of hard to get everything correct off the top of your head without graphing stuff in front of you and all that. So there's the video. But what I would say, if you're working on towers right now, DB12 probably comes before, or actually Necro B12 comes before R5. DB12 just comes when you can get it. Some of that depends on your budget. If you're not free to play, then building Tricaru is really quick because you can just buy the $5 rune packs. Doesn't even cost that much money to get the determination runes you need to get your first Tricaru up and running. If you're completely free to play, then it does take a little bit longer to get Tricaru, and depending on what your summon luck has looked like let's say you've pulled twins, you may wind up being able to get your Necro B12 up and running before your Tricaru. So it varies a little bit based on that. With that said, like, getting to your R5 is the single biggest tipping point in the game. So R5 is like the single thing that you're truly working towards. Think about it like this. Everything that you do in this game is working towards allowing you to build an R5 team. So you build your dungeon team so that you can farm to build an R5 team. That's like probably the best way that I can say it, because R5 is really the thing that separates people. Like once you get past mid game, R5 is what separates people. That's pretty much the bottom line. Artifacts matter, runes matter, but you know, you've heard me say it 100 times, like a garbage blue rune that's, you know, well gemmed and grinded is still going to be far better than an amazing legend rune that has no gems and grinds. So realistically, it's all about you being able to do raid. But with that said, I mean, that's what you're working towards, but you don't get there on day one. So you need to build the dungeon teams just to get the basic runes, and then as you build the dungeon, what is with these kinkies the last two matches? You need to build, like, you need to just get runes that have stats that are workable. And I'll say workable in this case because it's kind of like, you need to have the right stats to grind, but the rune can be blue, it doesn't have to be anything special, it just has to have the right stats to grind so that you can get what you need in order to build that R5 team. And so from there, you get your Giants B12 up and running. That helps you build the arena offense like you're doing your towers right now. And then you get whichever you can first, Dragons B12 or Necro B12 up and running. But it's the Rage runes that are going to do your solo R5. So if you get Dragons first, that's great. You use the runes you farm out of Dragons to build Necro. If you get Necro first, even better. I think here we could actually go Lima versus Lima. Let's have a little Lima on Lima action. We're going to do some Lima on Lima action, just for fun. Almost a mirror, but my Nana is better than his Vanessa. And my runes are better than his runes. I don't know that. But I do know the Nana is better than the Vanessa. Huh. I actually want to do this. His procs are better than my procs, though. That's the part I forgot to mention. His procs are better than my procs. Huh. Alright, is Nana better? Yeah, his procs are way better than my procs. What is up with these procs? Yeah, his procs destroy my procs. I don't think I can kill. Bro, this Dom does not miss a proc. Here's the strip, right? He really does not miss a proc. What? He didn't take a single turn without a proc. That was nuts. I am on violent also. It doesn't look like it, but I'm actually on violent. It's just, you just can't tell. You just can't tell that I'm on violent. Alright, that's what I get for screwing around, I guess. Yeah, there's literally no way I can kill. I don't know why I don't just quit out. Like, I cannot actually kill this. Without the defense break now, I mean, I could have... Yeah, okay. Dude, and another proc. Yeah, that's the perfect way to finish it. Okay. That's what I get for screwing around, though. That's fine. That's my bad. That's what I get for screwing around. Hey, congrats, Giovanni. So congrats on the what's her name? Not Marisa, it's the other one. Oh man, I can't remember her name right now. Congrats on the Light Chun-Li. That's going to be a really good AO unit for you. So you can do Leah. There you go, Leah. So you could do Escher, Chiwu, Escher, Galleon, Leah is a really strong arena offense. Yeah, Ace, honestly, if your runes are trash, that just tells me you're not farming enough enough raid. And realistically, I mean, the crystals that you're burning on the glory towers is perfect, but basically you're just not running enough raid. That's the reality of it, is you're not running enough raid. But if you can't run R5, just run R3, bro. Run R3 or R4 and use the gems and grinds you get from there to make your runes better so that you can get to R5. That's the whole thing. That's the whole thing. Dude, for R3, you can put almost any 5 random monsters in and pass R3. No, don't... Seriously, for R3, you can just run like... Or not 5, I guess it's 18 or whatever. But you can just basically run random monsters on R3. And you'll be fine. Dude, I forgot my speed tuning's messed up. That's not good. I forgot my speed tuning is... I changed my speed tuning so the Molong goes in front. Don't think I can kill unless I proc. Yep, cannot kill. Proc? No. Okay. That's my fault, though. I just completely forgot I changed my speed tuning. You know what? Let's do this. I knew I should have just gone S1. Let's play twice bad. Yeah, let's play bad twice. That's the goal here. Let's play bad twice. Yeah, that's completely my fault. I just gave him a free win. All I had to do was go S1 there. Like, legitimately, all I had to do was go S1 and I win. Cornell's probably in front. Let's do this. Bad player, guys. Bad player. That was dumb. Zika becoming a channel member, bro. Zika, thank you very much for becoming a channel member. Sorry I didn't, I got focused on screwing up my RTA match and didn't see that, but Zika, thank you very much for becoming a channel member, man. Really appreciate it, bro. Zika, just so you know, if you are, if you're not in our Discord server yet, if you join the Discord server, you can do an app moderators. And they will give you access to some extra chats that you get as a channel member. Man, this guy procs a lot. I'm waiting for my proc. I haven't gotten the proc yet. Have I? Maybe I got one proc. I don't know. Let's see. Can I proc here? Proc? No. Where's my proc? A proc, actually, I still could have won right there. He's procced a lot, so I was due, but yeah. Dead Lima? No. Just stun water. Why not? Just stun water. Cool. I don't think I kill. Yeah, it's GG. This was a throw, man. Completely threw this one. I literally just threw this one. No, just like any main chat. Any main chat. Oh, that's awesome, Giovanni. Tell Childish I said thanks, and I'm really glad that you found it helpful, man. See, always nice to hear that you're having good luck, bro. Always nice to hear that you're having good luck. It's gonna be Gianna, right? Let's do this. So Ace, I can tell you, I've done dozens, like literally dozens of fusions. All right. This has been the worst 3 days I've had in RTA. I can't even remember the last time I had 3 days this bad in RTA. Bro, congrats on the Martina, man. That's awesome. I'm down 130 points in about 40 wings. Dropped from, I was ranked 380. Dropped from rank 380 and I'm now C3. Literally does not matter what I do, I lose. But yeah, Ace, so what I always say about fusions is pretty much here's what it comes down to. It's as far as the fusions go, basically it's really resource intensive. If you're not free to play, then fusions are by far and away the way to go. If you're free to play or if you work on a really limited budget and you have a lot of other progression to do, then I would focus more of my crystals on farming. If you have the available crystals, then you should be using those crystals for if you have the available crystals, then you should be using those crystals for your fusions to get the devils to get caught up on skill ups. But if you don't have the available crystals, then you should be focusing entirely on farming. So it really just depends on your budget. Stacks. Who do I care more about, Dom or Diana? Dom. Yeah, let's get rid of the Dom. He's more dangerous. No, I'm talking about crystals for fusions. So, the thing is, in order to do the fusions, you're going to need a lot of resources. That's basically it, is you're just going to use a ton of resources to do those fusions. Is this a triple revenge, Riley? What up, Tariq? How you doing, man? I think this actually is a triple revenge, Riley. Nope, it's on violent. It's a violent triple revenge, Riley. It's a violent triple revenge, Riley. On max resist. What? How? 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 I don't get it. I really don't get it. How? All right. Whatever. Yeah, Ace, so from that answer right there, if you have the ability to get more crystals as you need them, then I would definitely recommend doing the fusions. It's tedious. It's super tedious. It's long days. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of resources. But at the end of the day, if you're trying to catch up, the fusions, I mean, devils are the only thing in this game that's guaranteed. So the fusions are really essential. I've done dozens of like not exaggerating, I've probably done 50 to 100 fusions for skill ups on my account, and it's what helped me finally get caught up. It took a long, long time, but it helped me finally get caught up. I also do buy the devil with the 1K crystals, but again, it's all about, you know, that really all comes down to your budget and if it works within your budget to spend those crystals or not. Also, make sure you're not wasting your dimensional energy, bro. Let's see. Yeah, no, definitely the way to go. I was just going to say, a lot of people, I know they just let the dimensional energy get full when they, like, if they're earlier in the game and they don't have, you know... Do I outspeed the Sagar? Probably not. Do I care if I outspeed the Sagar? So if I do this, he has only the single strip, right? So he strips Volantis. I still get the strip here into the Chung. I think we're good. Okay. Yeah, I just know a lot of people will, when they're earlier in the game, they'll be like, I don't have a team yet, so I'm just not going to worry about the dimensional energy, but it's super, super valuable for short and long-term progression. So he resets Chung, I would assume, here. Or Volantis. I don't see, it's kind of tough for him. Who does he reset, Chung or Volantis? I'm going to go for the Chung. Okay. Alright, let's do this. That's bad. That's good. Okay, push back. No. Alright, glancing. I don't even know if I have glancing there. I couldn't see. Volantis, I think, is in front, so may as well do this. And that's... Is that GG? That proc finished me, right? No, he actually glanced. Okay, let's do this. That did not help my cause. Now the Shizuka is going to get her stuff, right? That proc did not help my cause either. So much for max accuracy, Nikki. Sleep. Max resistance, Nikki, that is. Sleep, please. No? Ooh. Alright, let's do it. Let's see if we can kill the Shizuka. Yeah, we got her. Okay. Man, I still cannot believe just how absolutely wrecked I've gotten the last 3 days. Alright, just a reminder guys, if you're enjoying the stream, smash the like button. I think we're going to make this the last swing. Today's stream has to be a little bit quicker for me, so I'm going to go ahead and get the drawing open. Members, help, monster builds. So today we're going to be doing a monster builds members help, just to get a theme for the stream. I'm also going to be doing some other stuff around monster builds. So today we're going to do more helps, but it's going to be one build per person. So we're actually going to log in, pull a JSON, and just give you a build. Well, I can't say more helps because it has to be a faster stream, but we'll get at least 3 or 4 in, and then more if we can. Manuel, congrats on the C2, bro. That's awesome, man. Volantis is the ban. Oh, okay. What up, Aso? How you doing, man? Really? Really? Stuns the bird. And procs. So he's back up. Chung's reset, right? So let's do this. Actually, I guess I'm finally recovering some points, so let's go till we lose one. As soon as we lose one, we're gonna switch over to. As soon as we lose, oh, we don't do million for the members. Let's just do one. Yeah, as soon as we lose one, we're going to switch over. I got one more thing, which I think you guys will find interesting. If you don't, we'll just move past that to community help. But I got one more thing that I think you guys will find interesting. So we're going to try that. What up, Bait Voices? How you doing, bro? Yeah, I changed it from 1,000,000 to 1 because it's member stream, John. So on the member stream, I just do equal rates for everybody. On the open streams, I try and give people a reward for spending more time on stream. So if he bans the Oliver, which I think he will, he might ban the Volantis, but if he bans the Volantis, I can kill the Dom. And then the Dom passive doesn't work on the Shizuka Revive. If he bans the Oliver, then the entire match will come down to whether or not Lima gets provoked by Volantis. Okay. I didn't expect the Bulwark ban, but it's still the same thing. If it's a triple Revenge Lima, which it might be, the whole match will come down to... Yeah. So, do we get the provoke or not? We do not, and... Oh. Okay. Never mind. That worked out. IT Killjoy becoming a channel member. Bro, IT Killjoy, thank you very much for becoming a channel member, man. I appreciate it. So Killjoy, I'm sure you know the deal. But just in case you don't, in Discord, do an @moderators. Let them know. Well, your name's the same in Discord, so I already know that. So yeah, what would happen if I stole his Lima? Because I think he would ban. He's gonna ban the Molong this time, right? So what if I took the Lima? Lima Shizuka. Ooh, wait, that's different. Okay, I still like Lima here. I still like Shizuka. Lima Shizuka, yeah. He has to ban the Tessa. So the whole match here would be me killing Vivishell twice. That's tough. Ah, that Julien's gonna be tough to deal with. I'm not set up to counter him. Okay. Do I have to kill Vivishell twice, or do I go for something different? So Viva's fast. That helps me. I think that Viva was built to be with a... he didn't ban that. Holy crap, he didn't ban the... He didn't ban the Tessa. Didn't expect that. Single target stun. That's awesome. Love it when they single target stun. You know what, let's just keep her stunned. Nana's Oblivion. You know what, let's get rid of the Juno now. We're getting our points back. We're getting our points back. Man, after I just got obliterated so bad before. So trying to get the points back. Ongi Uki first pick. Wait, if I just ban the Leo, I outspeed, right? But I have to leave the Ongi Uki in. So what do I do here? I reset Ongi Uki and stun Lucifer and hope for the best? Or I reset Ongi Uki... Well, no matter what, we're resetting the Ongi Uki, right? Okay. I guess we'll just kill the Lucifer. Ace, it's in useful links. It's in number useful links. It's not a PDF, it's a spreadsheet. Laurel with the super sticker. Bro, Laurel, sorry, man. I'm like... hyper focused right now because I've been getting crushed in RTA for so long and I'm finally getting some points back and I'm all hyper focused. But Laurel dropping the super sticker says keep it up. Laurel, thank you very much, man. Really appreciate the support. Thank you very much, man. That was actually a tough draft. I think I'm not honestly sure the Beelzebub was a great last pick, but I think I drafted that well, even so. Like, that was a pretty tough draft. It's points add plus viewers. Might be in trouble with this one. Might be in trouble with this one. That doesn't do anything for me. Praha? Yeah, Praha. Let's do Praha. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I'm in trouble with this one. I tried something different and it backfired, right? So... try this. Oh, he got the provoke! That hurt. Dude, if he doesn't get the provoke, the Juno's out. All I needed was him not to provoke the Oliver there and I win. Not Oliver, Douglas. I needed him not to provoke the Douglas and I win. Now my only hope is like crazy Douglas solo. Okay, I think we're good. The Abellio is still dangerous. Don't get me wrong. Abellio is still dangerous, and I've lost my attack buff. But provokes again. But we got the one that mattered. We got the one that mattered. So. We're going to lose the attack buff, actually, yeah. Ooh, that's a big attack break right there, though. He should shield here. But he won't, okay. Oh, he procced himself. Ah, rip. Okay. Thank you for the heal. Actually, I need the attack break. I didn't get it, though. I didn't get it. Wow, bro. Triple attack Abellio. Triple attack Abellio, for sure. Triple attack Abellio. Okay. Yeah. So for sure, that Abellio was on triple attack. Definitely. I even for that last one, so I've been messing with my artifacts, and I added some attack plus proportionate to lost HP. I need to add more though. I forgot to finish that. There we go, 51. I lose 100 attack, but I think that's probably worth it. $17, but I kind of like having the HP. On the other hand, damage on fire, which do we like more? This is good additionals. Well, this has the same additional. This has attack up effect. This has damage on fire. I think I kind of like the HP more. I think this is good. This is good. So 9, yeah. The difference in the attack, like at 50% health, I'll have more attack than with the attack artifact. I think that's better. Okay. All right. Well, I said we'd go until we lost one, so we will stop that one. All right, guys. So here's the other thing that I did have in mind. Here's the other thing that I did have in mind. Let's bring this up. Alright guys, I'm making some updates to the template that we put in the Discord. I have like the roadmap template that I do for account services. I make the roadmap template available in Discord. And I made some upgrades to it recently. I've made several rounds of upgrades to it actually. But the most recent upgrades I did was I changed this sheet right here. I just need to move a window. I changed this sheet right here so that there's some more auto-populating than there used to be. So for example, if I type in Feng Yin, you can see it populates recommended speed, HP, it populates everything in here. I still have the speed tuning tab over here. So same thing, if we type in Feng Yin, we get to see base speed, no speed, speed lead, and then you can update the game speed and you see what their speed tuning is with a leader skill, if we go 24%, stuff like that. Just realized the Excel sheet. Oh, I see why it's not. Okay, so we need it in this one. We need it in this window. So you'll see profile for a minute here. Anyway, what we are working on today is reviewing some of the information that it auto-populates with. So this is basically, as I do account services, I give people recommended stats. What I'm shooting for, the idea behind this, not every person can make the same stats, but I'm shooting for kind of like C3 G1 builds, because I think that's what a lot of people are targeting, is to push up to C3, especially if they're doing account service and they're getting so into it that they're doing Excel. They're trying to push up to C3 or push through C3. So the idea here is to take a look at these builds and figure out if if these are kind of what we want for like C3 G1 builds. So a lot of this stuff I put in a while ago and I'm just kind of doing some reviews, and I'm gonna go over this stuff with you guys now. And I'll tell you, this is basically how we're gonna do it. This is how I know if you guys are interested or not. If I see a bunch of people dropping off stream, then I know you're not interested. And if I see people staying on stream, then I know you are. So we're gonna go through this sheet and just kind of keep an eye on stream viewers. And if people aren't interested, then we're just gonna move straight on to the community help. But I thought this would actually be like community help type stuff, because we're talking about some of the meta builds. And even though this is for RTA, this actually applies to mostly how you use these monsters in general. So this is the theme of the stream, monster builds, and I thought this would be kind of useful for a lot of people. So the monsters above, down to chilling, I've pretty much got reviewed already. I do realize, I think I don't know if the shading appears really bad on stream. No, it looks like that works out pretty good. Okay. So, coming from the Chloe, for the most part you would put her, she could either be Swift or Vio. So we're going to say Vio will is also viable. Now, if the Chloe's going to be speed 320 Swift, or use tune order. Now for the Chloe, typically at a G1 build, I think you're looking for about 35k HP, just a high effective HP. Resistance should usually be 100. For the artifacts, we want skill 2 recovery, damage down from water, and fire. So guys, what I'm going to invite you to do is if anybody on stream disagrees with one of these builds, has an idea for more variations of the builds, please tell me in chat. We can update this into the spreadsheet and be kind of like a community project here that, again, is going to be made available in Discord. And then again, so when you type in the name of your monster over here, it actually populates all your stat targets for you over here. So the idea is that you can just have like a quick reference guide to pull up some of the key builds for your RTA team. So next up we've got Chow. Typically he's always going to be Vio Nemesis. You can use Rage or Vamp if needed, but Vio is the preferred build, right? And then for Chow, I just usually like him at around... Hey Ace, have a good one, bro. Now, one other thing I didn't mention, guys, where you see if it says like speed 230, so again, this is based off of the concept that you're trying to push C3G1. So I'm figuring a central speed of about 260. Central speed being like the monster that you tune all of your other monsters around would be around 260. So if it says speed 230, then what it really means is 30 speed behind your central monster because it does not need to be in your speed tune order. And the point of that is if you use too many fast runes on monsters that are niche picks, then you run out, then you slow your overall team down. So the idea is take monsters that don't need to be in your central tuning and let them be behind the other monsters. A monster like Chow or Laika or Fang, Diana, these monsters don't need to be in central tuning, and neither do Miles or Chilling, because Miles and Chilling gain speed off their passive. So speed 230 just means run about 30 speed behind your core team. Now for Chow, I feel like we want somewhere around 32 to 35,000 HP, so I'm just using the low end of that build. For the effective HP, we call it mid-bruiser. What that's basically saying is you only need about 1,000 defense. And then we're just looking for really high attack with 85 crit rate, skill 3 recovery, damage up, fire down, damage up on fire, damage down on wind and water. So I do kind of feel that's solid for the Diana. Vio will, and then for the offset notes, Revenge is okay, but I like Will more. Diana speed 170 is about right. We're looking for 40k HP. 100 crit rate, I'd say 15 accuracy is okay, and then we just need additionals with damage down from water, wind, and fire. For the Douglas, we are looking for a minimum of 3,300 attack. Yeah, Exodus, this spreadsheet is in Discord. The edits that I'm making now, I need to finish this. I don't know if we'll get to finish it all on stream. If not, then it'll be finished in a couple of days, and I'll do the updated version into Discord. So there's an older version of this spreadsheet in Discord now. This is going to be the updated version. All right, so Douglas, Vampire Will. I would say will not mandatory in this meta. Be careful of Jogan. So I think if you don't put Douglas on, you can actually run Douglas off of Will in this meta. But if you run him off of Will, then you really just can't draft him into Jogan. Now, Jogan's not super heavy in the meta, so I feel like the Will runes are less mandatory on him. This is all stats here are total, Zeke. All stats here are total, not additional. So if I say 35k, I'm talking 35k total. If I say 70 crit rate, 70 crit rate total, things like that. Sam, this includes, I don't include 246 runes because I don't believe 246 runes are important. I think the target stats are what actually matter. So I can make a 240 Mo Long on slot 2 HP or slot 2 speed. I can do him HP res. I can do him HP crit rate res. I can do speed, whatever. The 246 doesn't really matter. It's the stat targets that matter, especially if you're using the optimizer, because then you just run a larger range of runes and you see more of a range of builds. All right, so for our Douglas, we got Vamp Will. I think 22,000 HP is probably okay. 24 is better, but 22 is okay. 3,300 attack is mandatory, and then for the artifact subs, attack plus to lost HP plus crit damage plus wind. That all seems about right to me. Escher is typically going to be run on Swift. Swift Broken is fine. I would say can be run Vio as misdirection. Vio will. So I would say Vio build is viable there as well. What up, Ace? First of all, huge congratulations. Ace the Gaming dropping his first house under contract. It is officially Realtor Ace the Gaming. Bro, man, huge congratulations. Seriously, man, that is super awesome. Very happy for you, man. Seriously, very awesome. Bro, that was so fast, too. You just passed the test like a week ago. That was like crazy fast, man. Huge congrats. Do that. Okay, so for the EHP, it's high. Attack we don't need. For crit rate, 85. We're gonna say 85 recommended here, because I don't think he always needs. The crit rate, but it's helpful. And then he just needs additionals, S2 recovery, and speed plus. Dude, week and a half ago and already got... Dude, do you know how many realtors would be like 6 months in before they got their first sale? I mean, not that I ever doubted you, but still, that's freaking insane, man. I seriously know people who passed their license and it was like 3 to 6 months to get their first house under contract. So that's just seriously insane, man. All right, Ethna can be... the common build for Ethna right now is Swift Broken. Bio and Despair both work really well. Wheel offset. So for the Ethna, this is kind of the same thing. Speed 320, Swift will use tune order. Ethna needs 67 crit rate, it's 20 accuracy, HP 20,000, Swift. 30,000 via Despair. I think we might have to shrink that down just a little bit so it shows. We can't shrink it any further, huh? Okay. Okay, let's do it like this. 20k Swift, 30k Despair. Nobody will be confused by that. Okay, column width, I messed that up, so that should be 10. Column width, okay. Alright, Whirly becoming a channel member. Whirly, thank you very much for becoming a channel member. By the way, I got all distracted. I'm like hyper-focused on a different monitor. Whirly, thank you very much for becoming a channel member, man. Seriously appreciate it, bro. And then Ace the Gaming gifting 5 channel memberships. Bro, that's pretty sick, man. Ace, thank you very much, man. Seriously appreciate you, bro. Awesome with Ace the Gaming gifting out 5 channel memberships. So guys, we got 6 new channel members right there. Whirly, you know the deal. In our Discord server, doing app moderators, let them know who you are. They'll give you access to the channel supporter chats. And Whirly, thank you very much, man. Ace, also, thank you very much, man. Really appreciate it, guys. So Zeke, it really depends. If this is good stream content, then we're going to finish this on stream and we're going to upload it to Discord tonight. If this is not good stream content, so like I said, if I see a bunch of people dropping off stream, then I know a spreadsheet is less good stream content. Then it'll take me a couple of days because I've been real backlogged with work and I'll work on it offline. So ideally, if I can work on this online, then I can get it into the community sooner. That's kind of the goal. So what we have here right now, there's only 66 monsters. It's a work in progress. So if I have other monsters that you guys want to add at the end of this, you can also let me know. And let's see. So Ace, there's like a random internal drawing. Somebody did Uno Reaper did the first gifted sub the other day. So it'll post into chat sometime in the next minute or so who got the actual subs. All right, so the Ethna, somebody asked, I think Trendy asked me if the crit rate is based off her leader skill. It is, so let's put, I think that's in the notes over here, yeah. If Ethna has 67 crit rate, use leader, otherwise go for 85 to 100. So I do have that in the notes. For the artifacts, we want additionals, S3 accuracy, 20 accuracy is good. Actually, what we want to put here is 20 S3. So in the accuracy column, when a monster only needs accuracy for one key skill, then I just put that skill in parentheses so that you can take advantage of it through artifacts. So for the Ethna, we want 20k HP Swift, 30k 30k Vio, and then we're going to call her Paper on Swift, or Bruiser on Vio. Attack, we need, I like her at like plus 1300, so like 2100 is kind of the minimum attack here. 2100 on CD, or a little bit higher than that. Actually, no. So on CD, you can run like 1900, I think, and then 2300 on CR. Nice, Whirly. That's awesome, man. I appreciate it, bro. Alright, so that's the Ethna. That's the notes on the Ethna. Okay, Fang. So Fang, we want Vio will destroy, let's say, will not mandatory. Yeah, that's probably fair right there. So for the Fang, I like 27k HP, and then I do feel, I don't usually put defense in the column, but we're going to say, usually it's like, I want to say it's like plus 1900 is kind of what I target for. Yeah, like plus 1900 is 27, right? But we'll set this a little bit lower because we're shooting for G1, so 2500 defense total. Or actually, let's say it like this. He's usually something like 270k. So we'll say 270,000 effective HP. We don't care about attack, we don't care about crit rate. Accuracy, now that he awakens, can be higher than it used to be, and then all we really need here is all additionals. Alright, Fire Robo. So keep in mind, again, Killjoy, this is kind of calibrated to C3G1, and it's trying to emphasize the most important stats. So, like, for example, Abellio, obviously attack matters, it's just less important. And then you just want to kind of make adjustments. If you can't get there on these stats, this at least gives you the path of what you're looking for. Alright, Fire Robo. Any Fire Robo users in chat? Because I have not used him that much. When I ran him super tanky, and he didn't do bad, but I've also faced a Fire Robo recently that utterly wrecked me. It was a G3 Fire Robo, so the rune quality was insane. I wasn't sure the build, but it was clearly an offensive build, and I was surprised he could do that much damage. So I'm wondering if there's any Fire users in chat, any Fire Robo users in chat that can kind of give us an idea of what your builds are, and we can take your feedback. So Axe becoming a channel member again, courtesy of Ace Gaming. There's the first one that came out. It's weird that it's such a long delay. Killjoy, I would say they don't change. The only reason these stats would change is if your speed tuning changes. If you try and run faster, then the stats are going to go down in accordance. If you try and run slower, then the stats will go up in accordance. I mean, this is not like a be-all end-all. This is a guide. This gives you ideas of what to shoot for, but not every build is going to be the same because so much of it depends on your team and your comp and everything else. All right, we're gonna hold off on the Fire Robo for a minute because I'm not positive where I want to put him just yet. I do think 32k HP, considering an at4, max S2 accuracy. I feel like this is probably fair. So actually what I'm going to say is we're going to leave him alone unless somebody has a different opinion. So if somebody has a different opinion, then let me know and we'll change up the tune order. But I think this is probably fair. So Taylor says speed crit rate. All right, crit rate, let's just say 15 or 85. We'll say this like TBD. Slick Woo getting the second. Man, it's so weird that it has this long delay. But Slick Woo getting the second channel membership gifted by Ace. Axe taking some time off, huh, bro? Alright, definitely Despair Will, though. What up, Slick Woo? How you doing, man? All right, Ganny now can be built a couple of ways. Generally speaking, I like him on crit rate with some attack and relatively tanky. You can also build him, we're going to put this on the notes. You can also go CD if you think he won't be a primary target, or pure tank if you think he will be a primary target. If you won't be, if you play turn 1, or if you think he won't be a primary target. So Ganny does have a few different builds. You can go CD, Bruiser, or crit rate. I like him on crit rate for like the turn 2 play style. Here it would just be about tune order, so 30k, 15, it's probably should be about 1700, not 17,000. 85 and 50 is pretty solid, and then damage down element, S3 AC, S3 single target, yeah, that looks pretty solid. Alright, so for the Gemini, yeah, honestly, Taylor, I tried him again. Dark Striker should just be unruined, man. He legit is, he's just bad. He has no place in RTA. Oh, that's right, I forgot. You have to accept the gift. It's privacy reasons. So the people who got offered the gift have to accept it, basically. All right. So for Gemini, Swift or Despair, I think those are both viable. Broken, you would just use Tune Order. No Will or Shield. Let's just put that in red. No Will or Shield, use Tune Order. Effective HP is really build specific. Accuracy is build specific. Playing a cleave usually needs super high attack and low CR windows. Can also run tankier if you run turn 1.5 square. Light Shadowcaster looked pretty good, man. I thought Light Shadowcaster was pretty good. I mean, I've only read the skill set, but I thought Light Shadowcaster looked pretty good to me. So, hey gang, Despair Will, Must Be Will, speed 275, for HP, let's just say 35k, effective HP 200k, accuracy 85, S2, low resistance, damage done by LE, okay. Alright, Helena I'm pretty sure is good. Vio Will, speed 200, tune order, 35k, probably wants to be 40k, kind of like a Diana. Although sometimes you run the Helena faster, that's probably why we had 35 there. S2 accuracy, yeah, so this one is good. The Helena build is good. Yeah, they are feminine. The only reason I know that they're males is because people always yell at me that they're males. Otherwise, I would just assume that they're female. So I get that, Slick Woo, because like Van Cleef, like Taylor just mentioned Van Cleef. If you look at Van Cleef on paper, he seems amazing. And then you use him, and he's absolutely not amazing. So I think the Shadowcasters are due for a buff next patch. So I do think the Light Shadowcaster will probably be much better, because it looked to me like he had a really good kit. So if he's got a really good kit to start and he just needs that something, it's a lot easier for them to get the proper buff. Whereas some monsters are so far away from being good, or their kits just don't work together at all, that it's very hard for them to get the proper buff on the first try. So I would be kind of optimistic that the Light Shadowcaster will get whatever it is he's missing on the next buff. I think it's possible. Not guaranteed, but definitely possible. Yeah, but John, not all of them have the oversized chesticles. Look at the Pioneers. Yes, I know the Pioneers are men, but they're also wearing low-cut dresses showing cleavage. All right. Icarus. So Icarus here, this one's a tricky one. I think Vile Will is fair. You can do Despair or Swift, honestly, or Swift if needed. All of those builds are fine. Icarus can be built out of the tune order or into the tune order, depending on if he's part of your core. So you can do speed 200 or use tune order. 40k HP is really the minimum, I would say. Even 42,000 is probably really the minimum. Resistance 50 or max, so this depends on if you're planning to use the Icarus lead. But I actually would say we're going to take that out because Icarus needs so much HP that we're probably not going to do resistance for RTA. That's more of a siege build when you can run him slower. But in RTA, you can't run him as slow. So Icarus has resistance lead, but dark only. If you have OP runes, you can run 50, 100 res, but speed, HP matter more. Just say it like that. Alright, and then for Icarus, damage plus wind, water, other elements with S2 recovery looks pretty good to me. So I think the Icarus is good. Oh, build Fire Robo similar to Van Cliff, in other words, unruined. Got it. Got it. So Fire Robo should be unruined. I mean, I've faced him when he's been pretty effective, bro. I really have. Alright, Ileana, Vile Will, pretty much the only viable build there. Some people may struggle to get 40,000, so I'd say 37,000 is probably more like a G1 entry build, especially with resistance, or I guess we could do 35,000, like a G1 entry build with resistance. I do think the resistance is important for her, and then her artifacts are almost irrelevant. Honestly, her artifacts just don't even, there's nothing I can think of that makes a difference on her. So Yogun's going to be Despair Will. We'll say can be Swift, broken if all team is Swift only. So Yogun, because he has no attack bar manipulation, cannot be Swift if he's your only Swift monster, but if you're just running everything Swift, that's fine. Yeah, Trendy. I mean, I do think he's viable against Oliver in the right situation. He's limited, but I think in the right situation he's viable. The thing is, he's just hard to draft properly. A lot of monsters are like that, where you just have to be like an incredibly good RTA player to not overdraft them and only draft them when the situation's perfect. He's one of those, I think. Alright, so for the Yogun, S2, S3 act both need to be maxed. So for the accuracy, we're just going to say 85. Now for the Josephine, Vile Will, I just did this one today, so this should be good. 35k HP, 85 crit rate, add fire. If you cannot make stats on slot 4 CR, lower CR is okay. For the Juno, Despair Revenge, 35. We'll call this 33,000. I think that's a little bit more realistic. 1,400 high EHP. We really want the 100 crit rate. If you cannot make 100 CR, you can go down to 85 lower and play accordingly, targeting. Alright, so for the Kali build here, typically Kali is going to be Swift Will. Typically Kali is going to be run with Shizuka though. So I do think you can run Fast, Rage, or Vio in Shizuka comps, but not ideal. So we'll say that. We need just high attack, 100 crit rate, that's pretty straightforward. Yeah, I think the Kali is pretty straightforward. Okay, so for Kaki, pretty much all we want is Vio Will, can use Swift if cleaving. Alright, so he would be tune order, and then 27,000 Vio, or NA Swift. 2,400 Vio, or highest possible or max Swift. High defense in subs. 20 vial. Alright, so that would be the Cocky. Next up we've got the Ken. Now there's 2 viable builds for Ken. I would say, actually there's 3 viable builds for Ken. We're just going to say see notes on this one. Rage Will, Leo, counter. Swift, broken. CC. And Despair, Will, turn 1.5 CC. Since that won't all fit there, we're just going to say this. Okay. Okay. Yeah, I think that makes sense. Hopefully those notes make sense to you. And again, guys, if you have questions as I'm doing this, please let me know if you have any questions. If you disagree with any of the stat targets, especially, I know we have a few Guardian players who hang out on stream. So these are my suggested builds, but I'm very open to additional feedback or just putting alternative builds into the spreadsheet. So keep in mind that I do welcome any feedback on this. Alright, so Kinky via will, priority, damage over resistance over HP accuracy defense. That's actually really accurate. I still stand by that. I do think the attack here, I might be targeting kind of a low number. Okay. Can go max res with 2200 total attack or no res with 2800 total attack depending on rune quality. And then I prefer my attack for siege attack. Okay, for the Leica, I strongly prefer Vampire Nemesis. I know there are people who run Bio. I don't like Bio Leica. I don't think he heals enough. And I think what happens is that if he is on Bio, I know he cycles into his Justice, but if he is on Bio, he doesn't heal enough. And then you get yourself so low that you're forced to continually use the skill 1 to stay alive, which means that you're not getting a benefit out of the Bio. So I think the Vampire, to me, the Vampire is just essential. And then if it's not Vampire, then it kind of needs to be Rage, so at least you do more damage so that you get better heals. So I would stand by this, Vampire Rage over Vile. 22,000 HP, that's kind of arbitrary. Basically, if you draft him into a Shihu or something, Shihu's going to do 3k a hit. So you really need to be probably at like 27, 28k HP to survive a Shihu. If you don't draft him into a Shihu, most of the time the extra HP doesn't matter all that much. So this is just kind of an arbitrary number to say, like, don't go negative HP. Really just give him a little bit. And then really focus on your attack, crit rate, and so forth. So I think that's the correct Leica build. Now, Leo can be in several different builds. I like him in double will myself. But I am going to say... Any third set. Okay. I am going to say Vio, also viable. As is Vile builds also viable. We'll just say that. Okay, so 30k HP, 2k attack, 85 crit rate, max res. Leo can be built with super high offense if you don't think he'll be targeted, or tankier if he gets targeted a lot. So this is kind of like if you run Ragdoll Leo, they may go for the Leo first, but they may also just go for the Ragdoll first. But if you're running Leo specifically to counter Beast Riders, like I do, they're probably going to target the Leo earlier. So you want the Leo to be tankier. If he's getting hit a lot, you want him to be more offensive. If he's not getting hit a lot, and obviously if you're running like a Leo Lucifer, you want him in a more offensive build. Alright, Lulo is very straightforward. Turn order, 35k HP, max. I mean, there's really nothing else to say about the Lulu. Now, I did miss doing artifacts on the last few. So let's go ahead and freeze panes here. I think we got messed up. Okay. There we go. Alright, so these last few I missed the artifacts on. Let's see. So Kali, S2 CD, damage plus on element, speed, attack speed plus effect. That's pretty much it. Cocky is going to be damage up or down by Ellie, down for Vile, up for Cleave, attack up, effect, attack, S1 action seems fine. Ken can be basically additionals. Oh, Cocky probably can benefit from additionals also. So Ken is additionals, damage plus wind, S2, S3 AC, S2, S3 CD. Other CD. Okay, Kinky is basically additionals, damage plus and minus by element, S1 AC. Leica is life drain, S1, S2 recovery, damage plus on wind, fire, damage down water, plus CD effects. Leo is pretty much just damage reduction plus CD effects, damage plus element, damage minus fire. Do I keep blue grinds for any rune set, including Viable Swift? So Slickboo, the answer to that is I personally do not, but most people should. I farm more R5 than a ridiculous, I farm a ridiculous amount of R5, and I'm at a point now where virtually every rune on my account is grinded to +6, +7 or better, so I no longer need the blues. But for my first 2.5, 3 years of playing this game, I kept all the blues, and I actually used them all, because most of the time I'll accept, like if I grind with a hero and I get +4, I grind again, right? But most of the time if I get to +6, I stop, and a max blue is +6. So it makes sense to keep using the blues, because a max blue will save you from having to regrind with heroes. So I do think you should keep most of the blue grinds. I actually have a video that talks about which ones you should keep and sell, because some of the blue gems, like particularly speed, crit rate, crit damage, those blue gems you should sell. But attack, HP, defense you should keep, and it's because like a blue gem crit rate is 3 to 5, which is less than a roll, and it's much more rare that you gem crit rate onto a rune, so there's less competition, whereas a blue HP or defense is 9, which is more than a roll, and it's much more competition for those gems. And then for flats, because you use so few of them, I mostly only keep legend gems, and then early game you can keep, or earlier in the game, you can keep purple, like the hero flat HP. I wouldn't bother with the purple attack and defense ever, but all the legend flats I do keep. I think legends are flat stats are very underrated in the game. They definitely add value when used correctly on the right runes. But you still don't use them as often, so you just don't need as many of them. Alright, so I think the Lulu build here is good. Now the Lydia build I did today, if anybody out there has Lydia and wants to throw in notes, please feel free. But that was just a build we were working on today. Magnum, very straightforward build, 100 speed, 22 HP, and the rest of this, yeah. Draft only against... draft against mobs with 2+ buffs when the enemy has Lucian or Julie only. Let's just put word wrap on this entire column. There we go. All right, Mei Hu Wang. So this is an old one that we set up. I don't know if I would change anything though. So Bio Will can use Destroy or any other offset if needed. That's still fine. I think in the case of Mei Hu Wang, he does not gain, so unlike Xing Zhe, he does not gain attack bar. So I think Tune Order matters for him. 30k HP, all the rest of this actually looks pretty good. I think I would keep all that the same. The Mephisto build, honestly, I'm not gonna lie, I don't know how to build Mephisto well. I've tried him a couple of times and I've never been happy with my builds. When I face him, I faced two kinds of Mephistos. I faced high offense Mephistos and I've faced super tank Mephistos. I find the high offense Mephistos to be really, really much harder to deal with. So although I've got this set up with what I think is the more common build of 45k HP, like just super tank, I don't know if this is actually the right build. Like, I feel like he probably should be much more of at least a bruiser build, something like maybe, I don't know, let's just say 30,000 right there, and let's get rid of the resistance, and I think this might actually be a more proper build for him. I do like him on Despair. He's also kind of toxic on Vio, but I think if I'm thinking about the ones I struggle with the most, I feel like Despair Will in kind of an offensive build is probably the toughest, but I'll just say here, you can also build him YOLO offense with Leo Lucy or other thieves. You can also go super tank max res. Bio is Bio also. So we'll just add some notes there, I guess. Again, anybody who's like a regular Leo player, I am very open to your feedback. This is something of a community spreadsheet. I mean, it's going out to everybody, so I'm open to more feedback. Bro, True Blue, 8-fight win streak in C3. That's actually pretty sick, man. That's actually pretty sick. Let's see. What subs do I look for? High rolls on HP and support artifacts. So high roll HP if it's HP support artifacts. Okay, Trendy. I'm gonna actually post the answer to that in Discord. I guess I can. Can I show this on screen without? Let me see. You know what? Trying to figure. I cannot show this on screen, but I'm gonna post the answer to your question in Discord because I have this typed out. Let me just do. We'll go ahead and put this into chat in general. There you go, Trendy. I put it in Discord for you. I can't show it on screen, or well, can I? Can't really show it on screen. So guys, I just answered Trendy's question in Discord. What do I look for on artifacts? Like, what should you be farming on artifacts? I have it broken down into about 9 bullet points. I tried to simplify it as much as I could, so I would say just jump into Discord. I put it right in chat in general. You can take a look at that. Because if I just start reading off the bullets, it gets kind of confusing. It's a lot of stuff. It's like, what's the expression for it? It's like verbal regurgitation or something like that. It's like really hard to follow with me just reading bullet points. But hopefully that helps, Trendy. All right, so the Miho is a very specific verbal diarrhea. There you go. Thank you, John. Yeah, verbal regurgitation. I knew that didn't make sense. Okay, so the Miho is going to be a very specific counter build right here. For the Miho, this counters Lucian Cleave only. So for the Miho, we basically just need a certain amount of HP, some crit rate, which honestly can be more like 75, 20 accuracy, should be on a CD build. So we're going to say CD build, this counters Lucian Cleave only. The max resistance is essential. So the max resistance is essential for this build working. The accuracy is really important. I think the rest of the stat targets are pretty accurate. So for the Molong, I will say Vampire is viable as well. Say Vamp is also viable. Honestly, Swift is too. Bio, Vamp, Swift are all viable. Alright, so you use tune order. I'd say like 48,000 is probably more like the floor of what we want for him. The accuracy, honestly, we all give him accuracy because he needs it, but it's not essential. And then I think the resistance also not essential, so we'll probably do it like that. We'll just put in the notes, more ac is nice, but HP greater than defense, greater than ac, greater than this. Actually, you know what? Some crit rate on him is also really nice. So let's say target like 50 crit rate. We'll say HP over defense over crit rate over accuracy over res. That's actually, because his skill 2 does HP scaling damage, so it can hit really hard. Yeah, very welcome, Trendy. Very welcome. All right. So 33, no, 30. So a typical Douglas in Guardian 1 is going to be about 3,200 attack. Let's say 3,200 with a 33 lead is 3,500. So we need him somewhere at like 2,700 so he has a better chance to land that attack break. The crit rate we don't really need at all, and then we do need 85 accuracy. All right. Can be run tankier also, but the high attack counters Douglas. Crit rate. Gets damage, yeah, so we'll just, I think that's fine. I think that's fine like that. Alright, so going back to key artifact subs for Lulu, S1, S2, S3, recovery, damage down, wind, water. Lydia, plus CD stuff, plus damage on element. Okay, Magnum, S2 CD, S2 Act, damage on fire, Mehu Wang, damage down water fire, damage up wind fire, S2 Act, S2 recovery, CD stuff, Mephisto, S2, well we'll say CD stuff if offensive, damage down by Ellie if defensive. Now for the Miho, we want plus damage on water. Okay. Damage up on, it's going to be wind, water. No, it's going to, excuse me, it's going to be water over wind because of the Bastet. Water over wind, damage down light. S1, S2 AC, CD stuff. Molong, damage up on whatever element you hit most. Wind, usually. All other LEs and additionals. Okay, more additionals. Gong, damage reduction. S2 recovery, damage up on element. You can put life drain on Miho is good. It's kind of my last choice, but yeah, I think life drain, S1, S2 recovery, those do work. They're just not my first choice. I like her being able to do more damage because of the Bastet shields. So that's the thing, like, especially if you're running a lower crit rate Miho because she needs so many other stats, it can be tough to break the Bastet shields. And in those instances, anything that gives me more damage tends to be more valuable because if I'm not breaking the shields, I'm not healing anyway. But if we, can get some extra life drain or recovery in with the offensive stuff, then that's a really good thing. So it is a good thing to have in there. It's just, it's not necessarily the first thing that we look for. All right. Okeanos, additionals, that's pretty much it. And then Oliver, additionals, damage down from fire, damage up, water, wind, LV. But Oliver mostly just wants additionals, to be honest. Okay, so Nigong via will. This would just be use tune order. 50k HP max res, that's legit all he needs. Okeanos via will. Actually, Oki is, these days he's mostly in Swift. Bio is also viable. I'm gonna say Swift broken. Because he's mostly a 5th pick from, he's mostly like a 5th pick that just kind of plays into the whole Sekhmet Sagar concept of trying to take turn 1 and get a reset. I think the new Cookie Monster thing is gonna fall into that category as well, and the new Cookie Monster may actually wind up being better than Oki, who's already not really as good as Sekhmet or Sagar. So I think Oki mostly is gonna kind of break out of the meta, but since we've got him in here, we'll leave him in here. So Swift broken. I do kind of like him on a just tankier build with some crit rate. I think the 85 accuracy these days is a must, so we're going to reverse those two numbers. And then if on Vio, must be tanky. If on Swift as part of CC, can be high offense. If used for turn 1 reset only, I'd still go tanky with good additions. Alright, so for the Oliver, this is Despair Will, also viable. I'm not a fan of Despair Will, Oliver, but I have seen it played effectively. So I would say it's a viable build, it's just not my personal preference for a build. In this case, we just need him with the highest possible effective HP and attack. We don't care at all about crit rate, 85 accuracy, and then those artifacts all read correct to me. Alright. So we're a little over halfway through. Let's go ahead and just, I'm going to run a quick poll for you guys right now. Seems like stream is staying about the same, but the more of this we do on the stream, the less drawings I'll be able to do for community help. I do have to stop probably, stream probably in about an hour, 10 minutes. So we'll see, finish spreadsheet or do drawings. Spreadsheet. Drawings. Get an idea for what you guys want, because this stream ultimately is for you guys. So let's just open up a quick poll. Alright, Perna, Bio Will, tune order, HP doesn't matter, attack, we just want high attack, 25 accuracy, kind of a niche pick here. The idea is YOLO damage. Well, we got one vote on each and no other votes, so we'll give it a minute to get some more votes. Okay, Praha. Any combo of Despair, Revenge, Nim. Okay, use turn order 30k. We're gonna say 100 here. 50. 59 rest to go with leader skill if possible. 85 crit rate is okay, about 100 better. If 85 CR. So Praha is additionals, damage plus wind. S3, CD, other CD stuff, damage plus fire, water, LD. All right. So that really wouldn't be very repeatable, Killjoy, because I have to, I mean, I don't know. We have about an hour left on stream, so I think if we do if we go with the drawings, we'll probably just we're going to do one drawing no matter what because I opened the drawing. I don't know. I don't know if I'd be able to go back. Might be able to do a little bit, but I think it's more like right now we could finish the spreadsheet, but if we can't finish the spreadsheet, I don't know if it makes sense to just go back and forth and still have it unfinished. I probably would just need to, would make more sense to finish stream and then do it offline in a couple days. That's what I was trying to say. Split concentration. So finally built bio core. Bro, Wojo, good luck, man. I hope it works, man. I hope it works. Good luck, man. Seriously. I think it'll be better. I think it'll be better. You know that because I've beaten that dead horse many times. So now I really hope it'll work. We'll say vamp also viable, will mandatory for this one. The recon build I actually did today, so I think that's fine. S3AC, S2, S3, oops. S3CD, damage down, fire, water, damage up by LA. Okay. Quick look at this. Still even votes. All right, so here's what we're gonna do, guys. Seems to be even votes. Since we're set up on the content now, and since it is about even votes, we're gonna go ahead and we'll bring this down to 50. So we'll finish off to Sagar, and then we'll switch over to drawings. That way there's only about 16 more, and then if people want to put some requests in Discord, once this is posted, we can work on doing a few more requests. So we'll do it like that. We'll bring this down to 50. We'll do some drawings because it's community help. So the idea is to give you guys the help that that I can and that you're looking for. All right. So recon, we've got that build done. Rocky, Rage Will, Bio, also viable. Speaking 40. This is pretty much the build. Mainly used as a niche counter for stuff like etc. Damage is essential. Okay, Rika. The Rika build is actually correct. I'm pretty sure we just did that one, right? I do like her a little bit faster on speed. Speed 220 is probably more correct. 35, high. Yeah, that's all correct. Okay, so we've got the Riley via Will, Nim Offset. I just did this one today, so this one should be correct as well. We just need artifacts on these. So Rocky S3 CD, CD plus by Ella, additionals. S2 act. Rika S3 act, S2 act, additionals, damage, down, water, fire. Riley S1, S3 recovery, damage down by element. Ritesh, S3 AC, S3 CD, S1 CD, other CD stuff. Damage down, fire, damage up, water and wind. Sagar, kind of the exact same as Ritesh, I think, except without the S1 CD. So that would bring us down to the 50. Let's see, Ritesh via Will, Tune Order. I don't think there's any other viable build for Ritesh. I know there is for Savannah, but there's no other viable build for Ritesh. Swift is also viable. You know what? Sagar is actually more often on Swift right now. So we'll say Bio is also viable. Speed 300. the speed we need. This has to be 85. This can go 70. And that should be good for the Sagar. And then for the Ritesh, tune order, 45k, 85 crit rate, 30 accuracy. That's all correct. Okay. So there you go, guys. Quick little tour of the spreadsheet that I'm working on. We got 50 monsters done on stream. Let's bring this down. Bring this up. Bring this over here. Let's get my windows reorganized. All right, last chance to get into the drawing, guys. Last chance to get into the drawing. We'll try and do 2 drawings today. Yeah, John, might have been somebody at the door, I'm not sure. Gianna 302, that's actually really respectable, man. If that's on Vio, that's super respectable, man. Moore 284, Riley 283, Savannah 282, Chung 282. That makes sense. I might like the Chung over the Savannah. That's just a 1 speed grind, right? But you already have 2 strips in front of him, so no, I take it back. Actually, that's right. Yeah, you know that turn 1 team. Yeah, no, that's right. Savannah in front of Chung is better. Parnell 279 is good. Shizuka. Okay, the one switch I would make there is Oliver in front of Shizuka because of Juno. So that way the Oliver can try to take the Juno attack bar and you can make a decision before you actually use the Shizuka. All right, entries are Trendy, John Turtle, Manuel Alba, Kaio Jr., Kaio Juro, Zeke, and Killjoy. All right, so here we go. Here we go, guys. First winner of today is Killjoy getting the win. Killjoy getting the win. All right, bro. So that's kind of funny. All right, Killjoy, message me in Discord with your login info and with which monster you want me to build and for what purpose. So it can be an RTA build, it can be a siege defense build, whatever it is. But message me with which monster you want me to optimize and then we'll optimize it. I'll go ahead and do a wing while we get logged into your account. Tomo, huh? Let's try that. Yeah, see, I like that. Now you can use the Verd to kind of pivot, and you still have your Swift build. I can't remember if you have Sekhmet, but you can get another good Swift set on Sekhmet. Praha Cadiz. Yeah, I think plus 208 is plenty. That sounds solid. Okay, I don't care about the miles. What do I care more about? Praha, Cadiz. All of these are kind of toxic. I think I don't want him to have the Cadiz CC, but actually I don't want him to have the Dominic damage. That's the key here. Don't want him to have the Dominic damage. So we reset Praha. That's our first target, is resetting the Praha. I wish my Nana was tuned in front of Nikki. I think this is, I've never had this draft combo before, but yeah, Nana being tuned in front of Nikki would have been much better. Then again, when Juno strips literally nothing, I guess it doesn't matter, does it? Yeah, okay. Yeah. Yeah, okay, perfect. It didn't actually matter because I got pushed back from the Cadiz anyway. So to be fair, it didn't make any difference. That was a toxic proc too. He got my freaking speed buff also. See, when I ran Tomo, she was never this effective. I ran Tomo and she would just literally miss everything. Literally just miss everything. But that was kind of what Juno did. So Juno took over the role of Tomo, of doing nothing. There we go. That'll work. This is what it's been like. Actually, that was not even absurd. Like, for the last 3 days, man, it's just been brutal. I don't know that I had a great draft either. I was obviously not paying a ton of attention because I was logging into Killjoy's account also. There we go. All right. So he'll draft Juno for sure. There's like no doubt. I face Juno every match, yeah. He'd have to though. I mean, Juno just counters both of these so perfectly. He has to draft it right there. And then what I was kind of figuring on here was the Leo and the Sekhmet. He should ban the Leo. I don't know that I can actually kill the Juno though. I don't know that this was really a good enough draft. I might be able to kill everything else and just get soloed 1v4 by the Juno. Or not 1v4. If I have the Lima, then I can kill the Juno, but the Juno should kill my... Like, the Lima will go down before I get to the Juno. Or I might actually... Yeah, I might lose the Lima right now. Well, no, I still have the Shizuka, so that would be okay, because he has no reset. I do. Ah, nice. Okay. Yeah, that's fine. We'll trigger the Juno here. Actually, can I do this? I can. If I hit this, Verd kills. Yeah, we get the Verd kill now. We can do this. don't really need to cool myself down, but I don't need to cool the Lima down, so let's do this. I had no cooldown there to do. Ah, I'm not in front. Okay, that's fine though. That's fine, we're good. Yep. Okay, cool. Lima counters came in clutch there. So the Lima build, by the way, Lima's on double revenge will. Not in love with the build. I'm really not. I feel like Vio Lima is probably the way to go. I just haven't changed her yet because after I rebuilt everything again and again and again, now I have to pull out a 271 Vio set, which is going to break a bunch of stuff. So I just don't think the double revenge build revenges enough. But in that particular fight, it did. That came out real clutch. That came out real clutch. Obviously, that's how that fight is designed to go, but 30% revenge is only 30%. So, all right. So we're on Killjoy's account, and he says an RTA build, but he didn't tell me which RTA build. I am going to open up the next drawing for you guys while we're on this one. It's only 1 point. I reset it because I don't know if people are gone or not. I don't know if people have logged off. Why is this like that? There we go. All right, so let me know which monster you would like built. Team idea. Yeah, so if I do a team idea, then I don't get to honor any other drawings. So yeah, today's theme, stream theme was monster builds. What I could do, I guess, is maybe. Yeah, no, I mean, the thing is, if I try and, like, rush through it, then I'm not really giving you good advice. You have Kraka. Do you have Shizuka? Yeah, you do have Kraka, Shizuka. So, one thing I would suggest for you, here's something I can suggest for you that would not be a full team build, but just a quick piece of advice. If you come over here to replay and you go by monster and then you search for Kraka, Kraka Shizuka has been playing pretty well in the meta right now, so I would check for some replays with Kraka and Shizuka together. So Kraka's actually making an appearance in the meta. It's strange that I don't see many Shizukas here because she's been, yeah, here you go. So here's a Kraka Shizuka team. So I would look at stuff like this because I do know that this team has been playing pretty well. I still think Kraka's not good. But I think Kraka with Shizuka has been playing pretty well. So I think if you go just check up various replays, which is right here, replay by monster, just keep checking on replays by monster and just look for some of the team comps that are being run with Kraka. You might get some good ideas from that direction. I did like we saw the Kraka, Shizuka, Abellio. I don't know if you have Abellio, but I do see him fitting really well there. CC type units can actually work because of the Kraka skill too. It's just a little bit unreliable. Something like the Chow can be really useful in that type of comp, and then of course the Bulwark would be super useful in that type of comp. So again, we're not doing like a full team structure today, but that gives you some kind of general direction to go in. Anytime you've got an LD5, I feel like you should try to at least, oh wait, never mind, you've got Gianna. Bro, you've got Gianna. Okay, so Kraka, Shizuka, Gianna, that actually sounds super freaking toxic. That sounds toxic AF, man. Because now you've got like the difficulty of deciding what to kill. You've got the Gianna that can play as a threat on one side, the Kraka, Shizuka combo that plays as a threat on the other because they just revive each other back and forth. So a build for one of them. All right, so let's go ahead and grab your... Let's go ahead and grab your JSON, and let's load up the JSON. We'll close this. Alright, so Kraka, Shizuka, or Gianna, which one? I would actually say the Gianna because your speed tuning will be tied up more around where the Gianna stands. But I can do any of the three that you like. Kraka's probably easier to build. Shizuka's the easiest of the three. Gianna's probably the hardest of the three. So if you want it optimized, I would probably say Gianna's the way to go. Okay, he says Gianna. Let me see why this isn't displaying. Message. We're optimizer. Here we go. Okay. All right, so we're going to go ahead and bring in your JSON. Yeah, no worries, bro. No worries. Hopefully you... Yeah, okay, yeah, you caught that part, yeah. Alright, so we import your RTA runes. Kind of the idea of this stream, by the way, is really just to show you like how I run the builds. I mean, you guys have seen it plenty of times, but this way you get to see it on your own monster. So the idea was as much kind of about like just seeing how to run the builds on your monster as anything. Okay, so we're going to go speed, attack, HP. There's no way we're going to get damage through subs, but we'll run it anyway. Alright, so... First things first, I want to take a look at your overall speeds. Your fastest Swift is 287, so I already know you need to be playing turn 2. With Gianna on turn 2, it's kind of tricky. Wojo will attest to that, because you need to basically bluff and make it look like you're playing turn 1 while playing turn 2. So will runes become super mandatory, and then you want to try and find a first pick that doesn't choreograph what you're doing. So I like the Shizuka first pick in this case because she does allow you to pivot back and forth. The Kraka choreographs your team more than anything else. So I would probably do... Gotcha, yeah. So, I mean, but it still gives us a ballpark, right? So if you're fastest Swift, even if it's 295, it means you're probably not playing turn 1. If anything, you want to put that on a Sekhmet or Sagar or Ethna, like a disrupting unit. But yeah, so I would actually build your team around the premise of going Shizuka turn 1. Now, the other thing I want to take a look at is your overall efficiencies. I see a lot of builds kind of in the low 90s range, and then it does drop off relatively quick. So I think... we'll take a quick look over here at the runes. We'll see what we have in terms of the highest efficiency rune on your account's 100. So we know we're probably not going to get much past like a 90% efficiency build for the Gianna. What we don't want to do is build the Gianna like stupid fast and then make it so that we can't tune anything else with her. The nice thing is, it's okay if Gianna is stupid fast because even if you can't tune stuff with her, the whole enemy team is stunned, right? So the real risk is just like a Riley proccing out and cleansing the stuns, something like that. Ideally, we would have everything tuned closely together, though. So from what I just saw, I feel like we probably want to look at something in the 230 to 250 range. We do want the Gianna to have 89 accuracy, but I will say, I think that something like 75 to 89 is a fair range because we can get the skill 3 accuracy through an artifact. We would rather do additionals. But we'll look at the builds in that range. And I think 85 to 101 is a good crit rate range. Why am I capping this at 101 and why am I capping this at 89? Because if I give Gianna 117 crit rate, then how do I get the crit rate that I need on Ciara? 117 crit rate is about 3 rolls of crit rate that are literally wasted and not being used on the Gianna. That could be HP or attack or something else. And then the Ciara is not going to have all those big crit rate runes to get her own stats. So when we think about rune efficiency and the efficiency of a build, we think efficiency is a measure of how many stats are on the runes, but it's not a measure of how well those stats are being used on your monster. And so we want to use some of the filters in the optimizer to make sure that we're not only getting the most efficient build we can, but that we're using the runes as efficiently as we can so we can build more monsters. So with that said, we're definitely looking via will. For the slot 2, we'll look at speed, attack, and HP. For the slot 4, attack, HP, crit rate. You guys can see everything that we have up here. We are just going to use all the runes on your account for this particular build. And then Gianna does need some HP. So we're going to try and go 25,000 HP, even though we know that means she might wind up being kind of low attack. Actually drop this to 24. So we'll do 24,000. We'll run the builds. Unfortunately, we got no builds. So that tells me first and foremost to actually drop the speed. Before I drop the other stats, I want to drop the speed. Now I'm getting more builds. So the thing is, I've got lots and lots of builds for the Gianna at 220. The Gianna needs to be fastest on my team, but I had no builds for Gianna at 230. So this tells me now what I actually want to do is just pick any random build. We're going to equip this and we're going to lock this. And it doesn't matter which build I picked. What I want to make sure is that I can build 5 more units behind her. Because if I can't build even 5 more units behind her, then I've got a problem. So at 223, now I need to build 5 units that are between 215 and 222. And we're just going to run random builds for these units. We'll actually do the kind of the same parameters for a Ciara. And we'll see if we can get her there as well, because she needs basically the same build. So that's kind of easy. Again, I'll just stop the optimizer. I'm just going to grab this. And the reason I'm doing this is because I'm trying to take those runes out of consideration and make sure that I didn't just accidentally put your 6 fastest runes on the Gianna so that nothing else can be built close. So after the Ciara, we said we're going to do Kraka and Shizuka. The Kraka is going to go to spare, so that's fine. More or less the same build. We don't need as much accuracy for the Kraka, but more or less the same build. So I'm just going to run this again. We've got plenty of runes right there, so I'm going to take a random build. We'll go ahead and lock this. I'm going to do the same thing for Shizuka. And the Shizuka will, of course, be on Vio. Shizuka, now this is going to go a little bit different. Shizuka needs 100 to 104 with at least 50 accuracy. She does need to be a little bit tankier because people always target her first. All the speed stuff stays the same, but we'll throw resistance in there. We'll go ahead and optimize one more. And we hit our wall. All right, 6, 7. Okay, we've got enough builds. So what this tells me is we can probably build your box somewhere around 220. I think we can get the depth at 223. We might have less options for our builds, and we might have to build fewer monsters. And the other thing to remember is that honestly, there's like no difference between 220, 230, 240, because anybody who's playing fast is going to outspeed you at all of those speeds, and anybody who's playing slow is going to lose to your Gianna. So to me, like the difference between pushing up to 230 and sacrificing stats, it's not worth it. So I think 220 is probably the build we want to be at. So I'm going to come over here. I'm going to unlock these test builds that I did. And we're going to rerun the Gianna again, but we're going to run her in a lower speed range now. We're going to run her 210 to 223. We're going to look for that 75 to 89 accuracy, 85 to 101 crit rate. We're going to drop her down to about 24,000 HP. Yeah, well, Joe, so, and the reason I have 24 compared to your 29, for one thing, I do think your rune quality might be a little bit higher, but also I can get another 3,000 from artifacts, and I'm assuming that there's going to be some grinds and stuff available on the runes. So we'll go ahead and run this right now, and I see 40 billion builds, which is kind of crazy. Never mind, it makes sense because I'm overrunning this right here. So let's drop the resistance. Let's drop this so we can speed this up just a bit. We know she's going to be on a crit rate slot 4. Leave everything else available. That brings us to 9 billion, but look at how many builds we're actually finding. So I'm going to narrow the parameters down a little bit. By dropping the speed, look at how many more builds I got. So we're going to bring these parameters out to 100 to 102. At the end of the day, I'm going to try and get a perfect 100, but I will expand this a little bit just for the time being. All right. So here's the thing, bro. You don't. The only ones you really have to protect are the legend ones. Make sure you use your legend ones wisely. Everything else, you're hurting yourself by not using them. Like seriously, There's a first rule of economics. Your money is worth more today than it is tomorrow. That applies to gems and grinds. Like, you use the gems and grinds to make your monsters better so you can farm faster, so you have more gems and grinds. And then on top of that, who knows if they're going to bring out R6 tomorrow. And all those hero grinds that you sat on all this time, they mean nothing because now we can only farm Legend and Mythic out of R6. Like, you do want to be careful with the Legends because they're so rare to drop, but you don't want to cripple your account by being afraid to use stuff either. Alright, so we've got our builds right here. Now for the Gianna, I didn't configure the actual damage yet. So we'll throw that in. We're going to say average, close, and then we can see that's some pretty big damage. I feel like I messed something up here. Gianna, dark, skill ups, buildings, average. Maybe not. Okay, maybe those are just using... She shouldn't be doing that much with her S1. What's going on here? Passing time, attack, use buildings, any element, skill ups. Did I run this with artifacts? I did not. Shouldn't be doing that much, but that's okay. We can use that just as a point of reference. Alright, so all these high resistance builds like 42, 38, that's just an inefficient use of stats, and those runes are going to be better off put on my Lulu when I'm trying to get max resistance for a Lulu or a Riley. If I can do it without having to use a slot 6 resistance rune, that's even better. So for right here, we're just going to cap the resistance at 28. We're going to cap the resistance to 28 to start. We're going to bring the crit down. Now I see a perfect 100 crit rate build, so we're going to take the crit at 100 to 100. That still leaves me with 75,000 builds to pick from, so I'm still in good shape. So now I want to get that Gianna HP up a little bit. I'll bring that to 27,000. I still have over 6,000 builds, so I'm still in good shape. Now I want to look at how much attack I can get off some of these upper builds. This is actually pretty sick, and that's because we're able to go HP crit rate attack. That's the benefit of running slow. The downside of running slow is that people can snipe you and control you, and obviously surviving as a turn 2 player is a challenge, but the benefit is being able to go with slot 2 HP or attack and getting more stats on your units. So this build is already looking pretty solid to me. I think we're going to boost your accuracy up to 82, because I see an 82 build in there. I like that. I think we're going to keep the attack up a little bit higher, and then we'll put that in at 1200, and we're just going to keep kind of filtering down until we get a build that's what we feel is the best balanced build. Now again, I see a lot of really high crit damage builds. These don't really matter that much for Gianna. Sure, she does more damage, but she does more damage with additionals also. So I would rather bring this down to kind of like 55, 56, like just innate crit damage only. Now I see some perfect 15 resistances here. And what this tells me, so like let's just sort by efficiency real quick. So if we look at this build right here, 96.69 versus 96.61. Technically this is a more efficient build. But this is an entire roll of resistance, which is about 1% of the efficiency, and 27 resistance literally means nothing, because any unit that can debuff will usually have at least 10 accuracy on it. So that 10 accuracy offsets the resistance that you're gaining, because all units start with 15 resistance. So this is literally a roll that's completely thrown away. So we're going to drop that down because we know that we have some viable builds in the 20 to 22 range. We'll drop this down to 20. And we'll do that like this. And now I see some viable runes in the 15 range. We'll drop that down. I see some viable ones in the 88 range, so we'll drop that down. It's all about trying to find the most efficient use of our runes to build an entire team and not just the single monster. Now, from here, looking at efficiency, a bunch of these crit damage ones, the crit damage isn't a dead stat like the resistance is, so I'm not going to hate on these. I don't need to filter that down any further. Next thing I'm going to look at is some of these effective HPs. And I really like something around this. 140k effective HP feels much better to me than like the kind of squishiness of like 113. So let's bring it out to 135, so we don't want to eliminate too many builds. Bring it out to 135. Now the efficiency, the problem for me right now is I can't use efficiency as a guide, efficiency as a be-all end-all, because we don't know exactly which of these runes can be gemmed and grinded. To answer your question, I do run with simulated grinds sometimes, but the catch with that is if you don't have enough grinds in your inventory, then it jacks up your speed tuning because it simulates the speed grinds with everything else, and then you wind up putting on runes that you cannot grind later, and it messes up kind of like it's no longer the optimal use of all of your runes, right? So while I will do some I will do some simulated grinds. I don't do as many. Most of the time, if I do it, it's because I know I've got the gems and grinds in my inventory to actually pull off the build. On occasion, I will do it if it's a long-term project. Like if I'm working with someone on an account service and they commit to just farming R5 around the clock, then I will actually run it with simulated builds and I'll write down all the speed targets that they need to get to. That would be the other time that I might do it. But that's like a big commitment where you're committing to farming until everything's grinded before really doing your wings, because your stuff is going to be out of order until the grinds are put in play. All right, so now from what we're looking at here, I would say we could take the 85 accuracy because that's really the ideal. So we've got 85 as a possibility. That cuts out most of the other builds. And now if we look right here, this build is just like head and shoulders above the rest in terms of current efficiency. It also does the most damage, and it is the third most tanky, and it has the most HP. So that to me is pretty much a very solid win right here. So we're gonna put this build on, and then we're gonna gem and grind what we can. And the other thing we're gonna do, so we're gonna put this build on, we're gonna gem and grind what we can, so we set her up completely for you. But the other thing we wanna do now is run your artifacts. So we're now gonna, we just actually locked, when I did this, I actually equipped and locked the runes. I come back over here and I'm gonna force the Gianna build in, and then I'm gonna go ahead and just optimize. And this only optimized with artifacts. So now when I look at damage, my best damage is 1500, and the nice thing is this has an HP. But if I scroll down just a little bit more, I see that if I give up 28 damage per hit, I can use 2 HP artifacts. I like that more. I know the attack artifact goes to my bomb damage, but I don't want my Gianna too squishy, so I feel like this is probably the better build for me, if it's my account, my Gianna, because I'm playing at 214 speed, actually. We'll grind that speed up a little bit, I assume. There's got to be speed grindables somewhere. Actually, there's a gemmable speed right here. So that we're gonna be much faster by the time the build is done, gemmed and grinded. But for right now, she's around 220 speed, so I need her a little bit tankier, just in case my opponent comes out with a much faster team, because he's obviously gonna target her. So we're gonna go ahead and bring this off. We're gonna turn this on. We'll go ahead now and just put the build onto your Gianna. And we're gonna go Bio 2, speed over HP percent, with 15 accuracy. So that's going to be this rune right here. The Vio 1's got 14% HP over 941 flat. So let's reverse this. We'll just go HP flat 941 by sub-property. There it is. So that's going to be our Vio 1. We're going to take, how much, oh, we got all the mana in the world. We're fine. Okay. So I can see you farm. That's really important. I can see you farm. And if you're max on gems and grinds, you legit could like move forward leaps and bounds just by using those gems and grinds and then starting to farm more R5, basically. Like if you've got that much mana and if you're doing your gem and grind and you're doing your R5 farming, you should be in really good shape. You just need to use them, basically. All right, we're looking for a Vio 3 that's on CR. That's why I missed it. We skipped over the CR. We're looking for a Will 4 that's not maxed yet. So we're going to go crit rate. It's one of these. It's ancient with 38 attack flat. So we'll do that. Let's go ahead and stick that up to 15 as well. So you can go by most efficient runes, but keep in mind that a rune that is partially gemmed or a rune that is partially grinded will actually look more efficient. So what you really want to do, let me pull the optimizer up again. What you really want to do is come over here to settings and you want to turn off grind values and gem values in the, oh sorry, not that one. You want to turn off including grind values in the rune efficiency formula. So this right here, when you turn this off and then we look at your runes, you'll see the efficiencies actually go down quite a bit, right? Remember your best rune before was 100%, now it's 90. But what this instead shows you is how well the rune rolled, because we don't care what the efficiency is now, we care what the efficiency is when it's done. And so when we look at this, we see this is really where we want to put our gems and grinds, is the runes that started off with the highest rolls. And then the other thing you can do over here, filter by specific grind and chant. So I can do this and I can actually just scroll down and I can say, okay, which of my violent runes can, or which of my will runes can have this attack percent hero? And it actually is only going to show me one that qualifies right now. So that makes it, oh wait, I'm sorry, we have accuracy filtered. It's going to show me 56 that qualify. And this is actually showing me everything that can be qualified. And then from here, I can just sort by highest efficiency. This one's already gemmed, this one's not. And this is pretty much a slam dunk. We just turn this flat HP over into attack percent, which by the way, I think this rune might, no, this rune's not on your Gianna. But this rune's going to be OP. Like once you turn this HP into attack percent, this is like 110% rune. It just needs that gem to finish it off. So that's what I would do, is come in here and then just remember, turn off include grind values and rune efficiency, so you can see which runes are actually the best at when they started. And then put your gems and grinds in there, make those runes better, and then just keep cycling through over and over, you know, farm back until you've got more gems and grinds, and then keep doing the gems and grinds. Now the other thing is, anything that you're going to put in your RTA box, anything that you're going to put on siege defense, anything that you're going to use on siege offense, I would prioritize that over efficiency. Because these are the runes that you're actually using right now. So you should be doing the stuff that you're using now before the stuff that is sitting in inventory. You do want to do the stuff that sits in inventory also. You want to do both. But the stuff that you're using right now is more important. Now, if you look at the difference in the Gianna build right here, we sacrificed 41 speed, and that's a lot. We're going to gain a big chunk of that speed back, though. So let's see, do we have a speed gem for this rune to start? This rune honestly deserves this, doesn't it? Yeah, this rune deserves this. 16 crit rate, all the stats. This rune is already well over 100%. So we're going to go ahead and put this in. We're going to go ahead and just take a nice, easy 10 right off the bat. We'll go ahead and just throw this on right here. And then can we regrind this? We can't really regrind this. I would actually put this here. I mean, this is on RTA. The efficiency on this rune is through the roof. 16 crit rate, 14 speed once you get that regrinded, or 15 speed. But in the meantime, that already gave us 13 more speed right there. And he said, go for it. All right, so let's go for it. I mean, this is on your RTA Gianna. So that's the thing. This is on your RTA Gianna. Where else would you ever want to put your legend stuff except on your RTA Gianna, right? Kind of feels bad that I used the hero, but after we just hit that 8 and the 10, we really should do that. Look at that, man. Look at that rune now. Look at where that rune was to where that rune just went by using some of the gems and grinds. That was so worth it. All right. This will 4, I doubt we can do anything because it's ancient, but I lied. We definitely can. You've got the gems and grinds again. That's awesome. All right, so we have attack speed. I would prefer an HP gem, but I don't have HP and I have 3 defense. So this is kind of a no-brainer. If I've got 3, we're going to... Dude, we're just going to pop off a freaking max roll hero and make it look like a legend. Why not? Okay. We'll do this as well. Dude, let's just pop off another max. Okay. So we do that. Let's throw this over here. This one we're kind of light on grind, so I won't do that at the moment. This one we actually cannot gem because we gemmed the top already, so we'll do that. We're gonna give this again RTA Gianna. Let's get your everything onto your RTA Gianna. And then right here we can change, we cannot change this out. We cannot change this out because she needs that crit rate, right? So this rune just stays as it is, except we grind the HP. All right, so by using a few gems and grinds, here's the difference in your Gianna. We dropped 21 speed. This one's not even maxed yet. So we traded off 21 speed. The accuracy and the resistance literally do not go down because the resistance was a dead stat and the accuracy was over max. So these two stats literally did not change. The crit damage did go down a little bit, but the changing 11 crit damage for crit rate is a huge upgrade. So on the top right here, we traded off 21 speed for 11,000 HP, 160 attack, and 214 defense. And the 21 speed drop, honestly, is not that bad, because 255 versus 234, it's not a huge difference. That's a pretty sexy Gianna, I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, basically without arts also. Okay, so we've got a dark artifact. This one is 120% of speed. That is this one right here. Let's see if we can get some additional by anything else. The attack plus proportional is not bad, to be honest, but additional by anything else would be better. You know what? I'll take the attack up effect because you could run her with a Riley or stuff as a turn 2 Gianna. But I'm going to take the damage from wind and I'm good. I'm good because she's a tanky build. That damage down from wind is nice and solid for us. Then on the other side, this artifact lacks a little bit. I'm not going to lie, it's not like amazing, but at least we can take it up to 12 and then maybe put something else on it. Surprised this is what came out, but that's okay. Let's bring this up to 12. All right, guys, I'm going to draw the last one now. So the last person is Zeke. Zeke, congratulations, bro. Zeke, go ahead and message me in Discord. Alright, so the CD is not really ideal, but you know what? The speed up effect's not terrible, and the CD is not the worst thing ever. Like, it doesn't hurt, it does more damage. It's not like the additional, but it certainly doesn't hurt. Speed plus proportional doesn't hurt, so nothing bad there. Attack up effect again, though. So let's do attack up effect, and you got attack up effect. Oh no, we wound up changing the other one off, right? Alright, any chance we have, ooh, we have specials. Specials. Additional by defense. Okay, so let's push. I don't think I want to use that here though. This one's probably not good enough to justify using that. We'll save that for later. But let's just see if we can get. We'll bring this up to like 60 or 70 cost. We'll see if we can change it into something useful. The crit damage taken is kind of like a less valuable thing. One turn crit damage, not bad actually. Not great, but not bad. Skill 3 accuracy we don't need because we already have perfect accuracy. Okay, last roll because it gets really expensive from here. So we'll stick with that. So there's your Gianna. 1% of HP, which is not bad considering we have 32k HP. A little over when this is maxed actually. So yeah, we've got 1% of HP, 122 speed, we've got some extra crit damage, some damage down from wind. Almost all the sub-properties fit. They're not optimal, but they do fit. The only thing that doesn't make any sense at all is counterattack damage. The speed up effect will work. Like if you run her with a Praha, the speed up effect actually has value. I don't remember if you had Praha or not, but this one can add value. It's not what we want, but it can add value. This one just will never add value. It doesn't fit. But there you go, bro. I personally find this to be a way better build than you had before. The 21 speed does make a difference. Like, I'm not going to lie, you're going to get outsped more often, and it's going to suck, but she had plus 9k HP before, and she didn't have max crit rate. So if I pick between the builds, this is the one I'm happy with. This is what I would go with. So there you go, that's the process. You would do more or less the same process for each of your units. Just watch back through how we filtered. Yeah, you got it, man. Very welcome. Alright, so final build, 22.6. That looks sexy. Alright, guys, let me log into Zeke's account. Zeken's account. Let's turn that off. And then, like I said, Gianna, Kraka, Shizuka should be really strong. Yun Hung, okay. Cool, we can do the Yun Hung. Okay, I'm just going to need a verification code. I'll give you my best thoughts on Yun Hung since I don't have her. We'll take a look at your box and I'll see what I can figure out. It's always a little bit trickier when it's a monster you don't have. I know the Gianna Kraka Shizuka because I face it. But I face... Yun Hung is so freaking flexible. She works in so many different comps. But I'll do the best I can. Definitely as far as the build, there's two different kinds of builds that we can do as well. Banning units like Dom and Shizuka. Okay. So let's see here. We got the Molong, so the odds are if you don't have any kind of big turn 1 threats, we're probably gonna... Ooh, Craig is pretty good now, isn't he? Since his buff. HP of all allies by 30 each, HP of all enemies by 15. Increases the attack bar of all allies by 40. Increases the attack power. Bro, you got Geldnir. What was the team I faced with Geldnir recently that was just beyond stupid broken? I couldn't deal with it. I might have had Artemil in it. But it was like so beyond broken. Oh, you know what? It was like Geldnir Molly? Geldnir Riley? You could make do with the Riley? Ah, man, it's not going to be in my replays. I want to check. Let me see if I'm just checking to see if it's in my replays because I got so absolutely wrecked by a Geldnir. Like it was shameful. Like I needed to go in a corner and just like yell at myself because of how badly I got wrecked by this team. It was just absolutely demolished me. It was a brilliant comp. It was like he just drafted it brilliantly. The team was put together brilliantly. Like nothing but respect there. You know, there was no RNG, none of that. I mean, to be fair, RNG did favor him slightly, but it didn't matter. Like I was so badly outdrafted, it didn't need to favor him, right? All right, so I don't see it in my history. I thought it scrolled out, but let me see if maybe we get lucky and this guy happens to be like running right now. It was a Geldnir Molong comp. I know that. Oh, it was just so broken. It was so absolutely broken. And I think the Geldnir Molong Craig would actually pair well together. So it'd have to be up in Guardian. So there's no Guardian play right now. Geldnir, no, it's nothing like that. Nothing like that. It was something like this. It was kind of like this. Yeah, so Geldnir, Artemil. We don't have the Artemil, but we have other good stuff, right? Geldnir Abellio. I think he might have had the Abellio in there. He might have. I don't remember for sure. But yeah, I mean, that's another solid pairing, right? It was just like I could not do anything to that team. Like literally I could not do anything to that team. I had actually early picked a Masha, so my Masha continually stacked his Geldnir, so every time I attacked something, the Geldnir would just heal it right back up to full health, and you know, like I just couldn't pivot. I was trashed. It was something like this. I knew it was like something like Geldnir Molly, but the Molong was definitely in there, right? So yeah, I would say, because again, this is about building a single monster, not a comp, but the Geldnir, so knowing that you have Geldnir changes how I would, it changes how I would build the Yun Hung. Probably changes, it changes how I build the Yun Hung for sure. And you have Abellio, you have Molong, so you have all the meta bruisers. Even freaking Douglas, like could you, yeah, man. All right, so again, it would be unfair, like if I didn't give Killjoy a team, just a team concept idea, so I want to keep it fair. My team concept for you is that you should be running Geldnir, Molong. That's the core of it. And then Abellio, Nana, Craig and Yun Hung, and Diana all fit in really well with that. Mephisto fits in well, Sager fits in well, your whole box fits together just freaking beautifully for that type of team. The Tsarian fits in well, even the Miles fits in well. Like all of this stuff can just be run disgustingly thick, and the Geldnir just keeps people from doing anything. Now, I am sure that the dude had Artemil, and I saw the Artemil and a lot of other comps in there. So I think the counterattack damage is a big part of it. So look through and see what stuff you can find that can do some sort of counterattack damage or gain attack bar passively. Diana Fang would be good examples of stuff that would pair in that team. Honestly, the Fire Robo is a good example of something that would pair in that team as well. So that's the concept that I'm going to give you, is using Geldnir Nana to play protect the damage dealer. Mo Long definitely needs to be in there. A second heavy damage dealer needs to be in there, and then probably like an immunity monster, something like that. But the Craig, I do think the Craig, because he already absorbs attack bar. So he absorbs he absorbs attack bar by 15%, and then he also gives you that attack bar boost, right? So, first of all, I'm curious if Geldnir will heal you on the absorb. I don't think he will. I do not think he will, but I'm curious. But either way, if you run the Craig with the Yunhung Mo Long in the team, what you would actually do, there's two ways you could do this. You could run a fast Craig and a slower Yunhung. Yeah, that's what I would do. I would run a Bruiser Yunhung around the speed of your Mo Long, but under. And I would run a fast Craig, so that if the Craig gets banned out, you get the Yunhung Mo Long combo, because they're going to expect the Yunhung to be faster and the Craig to be kind of slower because of Craig's base speed, right? So jam your best Swift set onto the Craig, and then run the Yunhung just stuffed full of stats and tune her right behind the Mo Long. You can go Craig into Mo Long, Yunhung would resurge the Mo Long for full health, and the enemy is at 10% HP, and the Mo Long has 2 kills. So that gives you an instant snipe with the Mo Long at full health, and the Geldnir is just sitting there, like making it impossible for them to ever touch the Mo Long after that. So with that team concept in mind, that's what we're gonna go with. Let's go ahead and get your JSON loaded and build the Yunhung, and we're gonna do it as a bruiser. What up, Rob? How you doing? Rob, renewing the channel membership. Rob, thank you very much for becoming a channel member. Really appreciate it, man. Welcome back. How you doing, man? Yeah, and keep in mind, Zeke, this is theorycraft. It may not work. I mean, you know, we're theorycrafting here, but try it, and if it doesn't work, what I want you to take away from that is what did work and what did not work, and then make adjustments accordingly. And if nothing works, then all right, nothing worked. And if it does work, but it's just like missing something, then you could always try switching the Craig around to be the Bruiser and the Yunhung on the Swift set. You could try bringing in different monsters to get some extra damage. You could run a fast Diana in front of the Mo Long, for example. I've seen people that run super fast Dianas. You could run a Vertihile, which would synergize. Like, there's so many different directions you could go. So if it works, awesome. If it doesn't work, try and think about don't just think of it as what didn't work. Think of it as why didn't it work, and are we just missing something? A-Stick Gaming dropping the member chat. Member for over 2 years, says awesome stream, have a great night, slap the like button. Ace, thank you very much, bro. Really appreciate the gifted subs, man. Actually, it looks like only 2 of them ever went through. Kind of weird. But Ace, thank you very much for the gifted subs, man. Have a good night, and congratulations on getting the house in escrow, man. That's huge. Like, seriously, that's huge, bro. Bro, Rob, that's awesome, man. C2, C3, that's seriously a huge progression, man. Yeah, most people use Yunhung as a way to take the snipe, and I'm not going to lie, that may be the way to go. But just when I'm looking at, you've got 2 other really strong LDs, so using Yunhung as a way to take a snipe makes it so the team doesn't synergize as much. But if one thing that I like to think about a lot is if you give people a chance to make a mistake, they'll take it. And like, I made a mistake against Geldnir because you don't see him every day. I obviously know what he does, but you don't see the comp unfolding in front of you. It confuses you. Or it's not even that it confuses you, but it makes you think slower, or it makes you confused, or you just screw up, right? So I remember getting creamed by that Geldnir comp because it was unique, and because I know I drafted poorly into it because I didn't see where he was going with it until it was too late. I mean, he just led me around on a leash, and I followed and did what he wanted. And so that's the goal of what you want to do. We face at higher levels of RTA, you face Young Hung constantly. You know what she does, you know what her build is, there's no surprises. She's still OP. Even knowing what she does, she's hard to counter. And so maybe that's enough. Like maybe using her for a turn 1 snipe and 54, 55% win rate with her, whatever your number is enough. But maybe if we can confuse people and make it even that much harder for them to defend against the Unhung, that win rate goes up to 60. So that's kind of the idea here, is just try something different. Alright, so we're going to go Yunhung. First thing I need to do is take a look at your runes. We got RTA loaded. So it looks like, generally speaking, your efficiency is going to be comparable to Killjoy at the top end, but you have a lot more depth. So comparable to the last build we just did, but a lot more depth, something like that. Speed-wise... Oh, that's runes. Whoops. Speed-wise... 311 is nice. That's a nice swift set on the segment, and it's followed up by 308, 299. So you've got a few, and 296. So you've got several really solid swift sets. If any of these are Vile, I'll be even more impressed, but I'm guessing they're all swift. Swift. Okay, yeah. It'd be pretty crazy if those were Vile. Okay. But you've got some real depth on Swift. So the 311 segment set probably would go to Craig, or a variation of that set would go to Craig because he doesn't need the accuracy. And I think his base is what, 95, something like that, 98. So that becomes like, yeah, that puts him in the range of like where a lot of Swift Sagars are played. So he's 16 speed slower with the difference from Swift set, it's 18 slower, so he's like 293. So you have like a 290 something Craig. Might need to try and figure out how to work some speed leads in there. Again, we're I'm trying to be fair and keep it to the monster build, so you need a little bit more overall team. This is just like the team core, but I think the Geldnir Molong is going to be super strong. I don't know if the Craig fits or not, but I'm positive the Yunhung fits. So Geldnir Molong as a core with Nana is going to be absolutely brutal. Because you got double defense breakers, the Yunhung strips, the Geldnir strips, the Nana. I would put the Nana on a crit damage build. Honestly, in that team, there's no reason not to have Nana and crit damage because you've got the Molong, which is the big snipe. The Geldnir keeps her alive, so get the extra damage out of it. So yeah, you get the Nana on like a Vile Will crit damage build. You get the Molong on a standard Molong build. Geldnir is just a standard brick wall with high accuracy and res. And what do they hit? If they hit your Molong, he goes straight back to full health. If they hit your Nana, she goes straight back to full health. And in the meantime, you can just sit there until their immunity comes down and then snipe stuff. The Unhung works in there, either as a slow bruiser or as a swift unit to start the turn 1. She'll work one way or the other. So because a swift build on Yunhung is just really easy, we're going to do the bruiser build. And then you can take it from there, because you can always switch her back over to Swift. That's easy to do. So for the Bruiser build, we're going to do the same thing we just did with Killjoy. I'm going to take a look at your RTA builds. 234, 259, so big speed gap there. He's slow, he's fast. 239, 300, 262. So you have some pretty... Your speeds are kind of... they fluctuate a lot. You're not tightly tuned. That is something I would work on, is getting those speeds closer together. I see a few units that are close together, but a lot of them have like 10, 20 speed gaps. But from what I'm seeing, it feels like somewhere in the 235 range is probably about what you're comfortable with. So with Yunhung's crazy high base, we'll start her at 240. We'll go 230 to 245. Let's do something like that. We're going to want the 85 crit. Now with her, we want to figure out how much damage she does with her blade fan. We're going to assume an enemy defense of 1200. We're just going to look at the average. Single target ability, that's really just for artifacts for later on. We'll go ahead and close that. Bruiser build, I want at least 170k effective HP. Don't so much care about accuracy. So let's run this real quick at, let's say, 32,000 HP, so we get 35 with artifacts. Seeing lots of builds already, so that's awesome. So we're going to go ahead and just click one and take this out. That's at 241. That's perfect. So now from there, we would run a Molong. I'm going to do the same thing without crit rate and bring this up to 45,000. And I want him somewhere around 240 now to actually tune. And there's our brick wall. even if there's builds at this point, I'm worried. Oh, wait a second. Yeah, artifacts are disabled. So speed, HP, crit rate, bio will. We do have builds, but we have a lot less builds. So we need to be 5 to 10 speeds slower than where I was. So for the Unhung, thing is with her crazy high base speed, the other monsters actually need to be run faster than her. So I think the Unhung needs to be about 235 for this concept. So we're going to run her 230 to 235. We're going to redo that build. Pretty much same parameters, 32,000 HP. We want the 85 crit rate. We actually want 100 with her, but we'll run it 85 right now. So let's see here, 1430 to 2320, 39K at 1700, 1858. Here it is, 38K at 2000. So we're gonna say 3800 damage, whoops, 2000 damage. We're gonna bring this up to 37,000. We're kind of narrowing in on where we want to be at, 231, kind of right in the right speed range. So this puts us at 231 right here. So now if we want the Molong in front of her without doing a proper speed tune, I believe he needs to be somewhere around 235. We'll do that, we'll do that, we'll do that. This should put him in the ballpark and in front of Yunhung. There it goes. It's a low number of builds, but it's enough. All right. Let's go ahead and just take this out. Let's get one more. Let's say Bulwark. So if Molong's 235, Bulwark is 234. Same thing via will. Less HP. 100 to 104. Throw a res rune up here. I think we may still be pushing the ceiling of your speed range, but I'm not sure. So this is where, I gotta be honest, like, you know, we're doing this on stream. If we were doing a full account service, I would go much more in depth with finding the right speed. I feel like we might be pushing the top end of your speed range. So I want to bring this Yunhung in at about 231. The build may come up a little too fast. When you start to tune everything, you may need to drop her to 225. But I feel like this is a really solid build for her right here. I like this build. So let's just see. Let's just compare it. Let's just compare it at 225 and see what the difference is. Let's compare it at 225, see what the difference is. So speed, HP, crit rate, HP. We'll actually leave the res in there. I think that's fine. Let's go 220 to 225. Problem with the Yunhung is stuff has to be, like I said, with her high base speed, because of speed towers and speed leads, a 225 Yunhung needs like a 232 Molong, something like that to tune with her when we have the speed leads in place. And so even though this is slow for Yunhung, it pushes everything else up significantly faster. Yeah, I mean, the Vile runes don't look terrible, bro. And it's the same as, you know, oh, you know what? Hold up. I knew it! I knew your efficiency had to be higher than that, bro. I was like, I looked at the builds. I looked at your builds and I'm like, these are efficient builds. And I looked at the efficiencies and it's like 90-something%. And I'm like, it wasn't actually clicking in my head. I forgot that I changed that stupid setting. I knew your builds were more efficient than that. It just wasn't clicking. Okay, there we go. So high 99's 100. Yeah, that fits so much more realistic. Yeah, I mean, I was looking at the builds and the stats are there. I'm like, these are 100% plus builds. And yeah, I forgot I changed that setting. So this makes way more sense. Okay, that makes way more sense. So we're like 91% there. I need to narrow this down a lot. It looks like most of the best builds are going to come off on a slot 2 HP. So let's do this. Let's drop this. Let's drop this so I can narrow the focus of the search a little bit so that we can get a full run done. Now I would generally want you to run it with the options that I had, with the extra speed on slot 2, with the extra HP on 4, and the res on 6. But just to get this to something that will run in less than 15 minutes for right now, for stream purposes, we're going to narrow the search. Because realistically, this is the most likely outcome. The most likely outcome is that we'll be on HP, crit rate, HP. But it doesn't mean that there's not other builds that we should be looking at. You'd be surprised, like it surprises me sometimes which builds come out, but this is still the most likely outcome. So we'll do this. We got over 1 million builds in these parameters. And yeah, I mean, look at the difference, man, 105%. Yeah, so I was like, this just did not make sense to me. I wasn't clicking. All right. Yeah, I knew that had to be, yeah, I knew that had to be there. Okay. So no high resistance builds because we didn't run anything with res. She has a 55 resistance lead though, right? If I remember correctly, she's 55 res. 48% res. So if we wanted to do like 52 to 54, all of these builds then come out max res. If we wanted to bring the crit rate up to 100, 101, all of these builds come out max crit rate. If we want to bring the damage up, and we want to bring the efficiency up, I want the efficiency higher than that, honestly. Okay, so we're going to bring the damage down to get the efficiency up, because artifacts will make up the damage. Artifacts will make up the damage. Or Molong will make up the damage, or whatever. I guess if we want the resistance, this is probably as high as we're going to get. And I do feel like we want the resistance, but let's give it a wider range a little bit. Let's see, 48 to 56. The builds aren't really that much more efficient. Okay, then let's just stick with 52. Give her the value build. I don't necessarily love this 8 accuracy, so let's bring this down a little bit. Minimum crit rate's 85. Okay, so let's bring this down a little bit. Bring this back up. Yeah, we're not really. There were some 105% efficiency builds, but they probably weren't using the stats optimally then. So I think her skill 2 has a qualifier, right? Like you have to strip to get the attack bar boost, right? Throws a fan. Each has a 50% chance that does not go up. Increases the attack, but so we have to land the strip. So the accuracy is kind of important on her. So let's say something like the 30% accuracy build down there. All of these have the correct resistance. 89 crit rate at that point is probably the best. So I do want to run this down a little bit lower. We're going to pin this build real quick, but I want to run this down a little bit lower and just see if I can get something that uses the stats just a tiny bit better. Do this and see if anything pops up. All right, so I'm going to run that. I'm going to start to apply her build while we run that in the background. Or do you want me to apply it? Because your team's not going to be tuned to this. Or if you want, I can just screenshot this and send it to you so that you can use it when you're ready. Because you are going to need to build more monsters, not just this one. So I don't know if you want to break the unhung at this second, or if you want to just have the build saved. Okay, cool. Then we'll come back over here. I think this is pretty much the build then. Let's see if there's anything gemmable or grindable here. You can get a little regrind, a little bit of regrind. So this rune will go up like a little bit. This is pretty well grinded. This is pretty well grinded. This is completely ungrinded. That's why the efficiency is low. That's why the efficiency is low. Now, the thing with this rune is you actually need both the crit rate and the resistance for this build. You actually need both the crit rate and the resistance for this build. So I'm going to show you one more configuration that you can... Oh, crap. I'm sorry. I forgot to bring this back over. Okay. So this is the Yun Hung build we came out with. The slot 2 is completely ungrinded, which is what's bringing our efficiency down. Now, typically, you would just gem this resistance off for defense percent, and this would be a pretty OP rune. It also makes up kind of the low part of her build. But you need the resistance if we want to have the max resistance in play. So now there's a couple decisions to make. Do we want to build everything assuming Yun Hung resistance lead, or do we want to build everything with the HP lead? I feel like the resistance lead, so if we think about it like this, a resistance lead is 6 times 8, 48% resistance lead. That's 6 rolls of stats that you gain on every monster, as opposed to an HP lead, which is 4 rolls of stats. So the resistance lead offers more value, but the resistance lead, of course, offers less value when the opponent has max accuracy. So the resistance lead is more efficient in bruiser fights, but it is less efficient in pretty much all other fights. Like in the bruiser fights, it's nice to have that max res, but in the other fights, it's not. Now the thing is, if we utilize that Yun Hung lead, then you can get a max res Mo Long at 52 res, max res Geldnir, etc., and not sacrifice stats with them. So I feel like you can go both ways with this, but we're just gonna check the other Yun Hung build, because I still feel like your runes should actually support a better build, and I feel like it was forcing in that 52 res that was nerfing the build, for lack of a better term. So I just want to do one more run right here. And it looks like we're not going to... Okay, so I guess we just can't pull off the 105 build. I guess we can't pull off the 105 build on her. For a unit like Yun Hung, who's a top 5 LD5 in the game, I really want to make sure we're giving her the best runes. But I don't think the build is there. And it's not. So we may as well then take advantage of the leader skill. Since we're not able to get a significantly better build that utilizes a different leader skill, we should take advantage of it. The question is, how much do we care about 7 resistance? Is her being 93 res versus 100 res worth 93 res versus 100 res worth being kind of low on the defense side? I'm inclined to say, we got 15 res here, defense here, and then this res can't be removed, and this speed can't be removed. I'm inclined to say you could actually make a trade of attack for resistance, and what I mean by that is right here, this attack percent, this is only a +8 with a 5 grind. So you could technically gem res over the attack right here, and then gem defense over the res right here. And you get your max build, but you get to keep the tankiness. And I don't think you desperately need the attack here, because this team is going to be built about, it's going to be built around the long fight. So I want the Yun Hung to just be super thick. So that's probably what I would do right here, is I would probably gem this attack for res, and I would gem this res for defense and make the change. I mean, you could also just gem defense percent over the attack. Like, either way, I guess it doesn't really matter. It bugs my sensibilities to leave this really low efficiency rune on her, but honestly, you could also just flip the attack for defense on this rune. It doesn't matter either way. Or you could change the res for defense and run with the 93 res build. I think that's probably okay. But there is nowhere else in this build to get res, so it's got to be one of those two. I would probably flip this attack for defense one way or another, and then either flip the res for defense or not. I would not take away the crit damage here. I think this actually adds to her build, because we have a high crit rate build. But more importantly, it's just too many rolls of crit damage. Now the last thing that you could do is honestly just re-app this slot too, because it looks like a legend rune to me. And I think it's a pretty good re-app target. Like, this is the one, right? Yeah, this is an awfully good re-app target. So the build that we ran for her only utilizes 13 speed, which means you're not speed chasing. And you can gem 7 res in. So I would actually, yeah, going through all the scenarios here, I would re-app this, because this is kind of a mess of a rune. And then just take the first decent usable rune you can get. If you can flip some of this crit damage to crit rate, it makes the build much better. It doesn't need a lot of speed, because you can gem 13 speed in. Like, you can legit just gem in 13 speed. So if it rolls with res, that's good. If it rolls with flat HP, well, I can't flat HP, but if it rolls with defense, if it rolls with crit rate, like, I think you can just make this rune fit her much better. It's a great re-app target. So that's probably where I would go with that. And then if the rune just rolls disproportionate, like if you re-up it into 26 resistance and you need to change the build, go back to this stream, look at the configuration that I ran for her, and just rerun that configuration with the new rune. So that's my recommendation. That's actually my final answer on this. I think you should re-up that rune. It's just a great target. Now, with that said, let's go ahead and just find some artifacts for her. So we're going to use the build that we found, obviously. We're going to force in the Unhung. Or not, because the optimizer is going to crash. Is the optimizer going to crash on me? There we go. Okay. Force in the Unhung, turn the artifact optimization on. HP for rate HP, that's correct. Clear this. Let's do this. Damage. Alright. So 39k HP is going to give us 3,000 damage. That's 1 HP artifact for sure. I don't know if the other is defense. It's not, because you're 981 defense down here. The defense will come up when we get those gems in, though, right? Now, how much damage do we lose to get the second HP artifact? A crap ton. So it goes to 2699. So we lose 300. We lose 10%. So we're losing, if we take that attack artifact, we're losing 10%. We're losing 10% of our total damage in exchange for 2% more HP. So I think we go with this build that uses 1 attack and 1 HP. So this is going to be our final build. Let me make the screenshot for you so that it's ready. And this is our final build. This is where we go, bro. So I'll send that screenshot over. We're going to go ahead and jump off of your account before I bring the window back up. We'll go ahead and jump off your account. And there you go, there you go, guys. Slightly different type of stream today. Hopefully, trying to change things up. So hopefully hopefully this made for some good content. I will work on finishing up that spreadsheet. It'll be posted into Discord sometime in the next few days. So I think we're gonna wrap up right there. On that note, guys, as always, I appreciate you hanging out on stream. Hope everybody has a great night. I'll catch you guys on the next stream.